Re a leboha. Dumelang. Enhlekane. Lo Tshwane. Ya o ka re le tshwere ke tlala mara re tla e lokisa. Batho ba ba dumedisang ka matla ba ile hore ba jele breakfast le nna ka rona le se le shotang re tla se lokisa. Re tlile mo ka jeno ka programe le taletso ya rena ya puso ya rena ya national gore ba nne ntse ba tsamaya mafelo a otlhe a rena le ngwana ba buisana le di-stakeholders go utlwa mo bona gore ke eng tse e leng gore government di promisitse and batho ba rena ba ikutlwa yang ka services tse government di tlisa mo bathong. Then ka jeno le re tlile mo Hammanskraal because deputy minister le MEC ba tsamaya naga ya rena yotlhe ya Gauteng le South Africa yotlhe go batla go bolela le di-community le baetapele ba rena ba di-stakeholders. Then ka tse gore fortunate re mo Hammanskraal ke tlile gore pele re tswela pele ka lenaneo la rena ke kgopele regional head ya rena go se lebeletse di-programe tsa rena mo ne ba re speaker sa council councilor Zwanana mara o kgopetse gore re mo lokolle because a tsoga pila ne re na le ena Frugu program ya rena se le thoma ka 8 o'clock o kgopetse gore re mo lokolle mme re kgopele ntate Godfrey Mnguni regional head ya rena a tla re amogele o na le presentation a tlo e etsang then ke tlilo mo fa opportunity ya gore welcome ha fetsa le presentation ka region ya rena re na le yona mo then morawa mo re tlilo tswela pele ka program ya rena ke kopa le methele matsogo mara la bethe ka matlanyana le nna le mbethele matsogo ke nne le matlanyana ke a leboha.
Bakhaetso dumelang le kae re teng lebitso ke Godfrey Mnguni se ba tshilo ke regional head ya region 2 ke mi mo magatong a speaker sa council o lo gore o khopetse tshwarelo because ha ikotle pila so ke tlo deliver address ya hae ino tshwantse gore I deliver today. Program director councilor Maluleka, DPSA MEC Mrs. Murat Mutara, Deputy Minister Dr. Pilane Majake, Tshwane members of the Mayoral Committee, DPSA Chief Director Mr. Khomu, Ward 49 Ward Councillor Councillor Mashapa, councillors present here, City of Tshwane Regional Head, senior national government officials, representatives from local government, representatives from City of Tshwane, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen, all protocols observed. I'm honored by your presence and welcome you today in this important engagement between Department of Public Service and Administration and stakeholders under the theme, Leave No One Behind. The term stakeholder engagement has gained increasingly prominence over the last decade or even longer. This prominence over the last few years has been fueled by a range of issues such as an increased dissatisfaction with government's performance and their demand for greater transparency. It is against this backdrop that stakeholder engagements and public participations have become an integral part in government's work in developing, designing, and implementing services and policies that will benefit all our residents. These engagements should not only strengthen stakeholder relations, but also promote a better understanding of government's vision, mission, core values, key programs, and developmental projects, which will ultimately be our legacy to the generations to come. Today's theme is very important theme because many times governments all around South Africa and often are accused of only serving a certain grouping in our population, or in other words, to only serve their constituencies. I believe that engagements such as this one is the ideal tool to ultimate such narratives. Having said that, I can understand why some residents have that sentiment. Many areas in our city are still extremely underdeveloped and are residing in a very poor living conditions. This goes against security, including if they are unable to support themselves and their dependents appropriate social assistance. Stakeholder engagements also assist government with gaining a better understanding of the needs of the communities. These stakeholder engagements also allow residents and community members to feel like they are included in the work of government and the upliftment of their communities. As the Speaker of Council and the custodian of oversight, I'm extremely grateful that such a program has come to the city. We are all aware that in the last few years, the city of Tshwane has faced many challenges that have hampered negatively on service delivery and progress within the city. I am confident that such engagements will help the city back on track on the road to building a city that can indeed preach its slogan of igniting excellence. I once again welcome everyone present here today. I hope you enjoy your stay and that we have a fruitful and constructive discussions that will allow us to live here today with one vision for a better tomorrow. I thank you. On that note, Program Director, please allow me to allow Mr. Kefas Khosa, Director of Electricity in Region 2, to deliver the Region 2 presentation of service delivery. Mr. Khosa.
Dumela Nhlekane Demasia Molweni. While they're still loading the presentation, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to greet the administrative part of our region, or the administrative area of our region. The profile that we'll be talking about thank you so much. So my presentation is as it is shown on the screen, but the profile that we'll be talking about, the outline or the index, will start with the profile of the region, Region 2, the contribution to the city, how the region is contributing to the entire city's economy, the regional competencies, what is it that we are doing, and then the integrated urban management framework, which is the one that gives and provides guidelines to us as we. So Region 2, as we all know, probably to those who don't know, it consists of 12 wards, 3 at the southern side being the Montana areas and the Sinoville areas, and then 9 in the northern, which is Hammanskraal areas. And the region also from that southern side is bounded by the Makhalis mountain from the N1 side towards the Babelechi industrial areas. And then the region also is characterized by high poverty levels, of which I can say the poverty levels are within the northern part of our region. The southern, I will regard it as containing a lot of middle-class residents. The northern part of the Region 2 also has strong presence of traditional leadership, which is vast pushing land under Amandebele Alibilo as a tribal authority. And the wards as specified here is Ward 8, 49, 73, 74, and 76. So the economic contribution of the region are as follows. We have industrial areas, which is the Babelege, the Bonacot, the Rooiwal Power Station. We also have the tourism, which is the Dinokeng, the Big Five Game Reserve, which we all know right across the N1. The Nelson Mandela Stage, which is just outside here as we drive out by the entrance of these premises. And then the Bonacot Dam as well. Crater, which is toward Tshwane in Ward 12. The nature conservation is in Wonderboom, Ondersteport Nature Reserve. The agriculture as well, as we can all read there. The transportation as well. We have the airport, Wonderboom Airport, and as well as the N1 off-ramps and N4 as the main routes that are driving or connecting us to other regions, other municipalities as well as other provinces. The education, we also currently have Hammanskraal TVET College, which is operational at the moment. And then the major retail is Jubilee Mall at the northern part and Colonnade Mall on the southern part. The sport, we have Hammanskraal roller skating track, which has been hosting a lot of other international tournaments in that sport, in that regard. And then the regional competencies. Under regional competencies, ladies and gentlemen, I want to talk about the responsibilities that as the region and the interdependencies of the other departments as we execute the services that we provide to you on a day-to-day basis. So the central departments are responsible for the policy development so that we are applying and creating the new assets and the infrastructure. The regions are responsible for the repair and maintenance of the existing service delivery infrastructures. The regional functions are limited to water and sanitation, where we maintain the distribution of the reticulation alone as a region. Energy and electricity, we oversee the public lighting, the distribution network, the public lighting referring to the street lights and high mast. And then the roads and transport maintenance of municipal roads network, both tarred and gravel. The community services are the ones that are managing the usage of the cemeteries, maintenance of grass cuttings, tree filling, parks, and maintenance, and other maintenance that are related to community infrastructures. But as we execute all these responsibilities, we are guided by the IUMF, which is the Integrated Urban Management Framework. So this urban management framework, it is prepared in the manner that the plan for the entire month of maintenance for every ward, it is presented to the councillors or is also presented to the community through the City of Tshwane website. So this is how it is presented to the community. So everyone can have access of what is happening and what is going on in their respective ward at a certain period of time. So I won't go through, this is how it is looking like. This is the old one that we have just put as an example to show that from certain wards, in a certain ward, when, which date are we going to perform certain maintenance, planned maintenance. Bearing in mind that we have a planned maintenance which we plan ahead. We also have the maintenance that you respond to your service request on a day-to-day basis. So the water and sanitation, as I've just highlighted, this is how we upload and report from that particular framework, the IUMF. We present it or we show it through the before and after pictures. So this is just a summary of what water leaks has been presented from in this regard. So also when it comes to clearing of sewages and blockages, this is just the example of some, the before and the after picture. The roads and transport, From the road and transport point of view, we have the grading. Here, if you can see that in the rural roads, we have gravel roads that we are grading, and then that's the before and after picture. Graveling as well, or re-graveling. I won't narrate on that one. Potholes, this is how we repair the potholes, the before and the after picture. The stormwater catch pits cleaning, and then coming to the energy and electricity. This is how, particularly in this area of Northern Region 2, energy and electricity from the distribution point of view, it's managed and controlled by Eskom. Then we, as the region, we do the maintenance of public lighting, which is high mast and street lights, except Renstown. Parks and horticulture and forestry. Grass cutting, these are the before and after pictures, as you can see on the screen. And then it's the same job as I've just alluded now. As you can see, tree cutting as well form part of this section. So, however, being said this, I'll need to highlight a little bit on issues that are service delivery challenges as raised by you as community. The poor water quality in Hammanskraal, it's something that has been in public eye for a long time, which I will never dwell much on it. So, but this one, we rely, it's like I said, as a region, what we do, we maintain the reticulation infrastructure or the distribution infrastructure, meaning that we maintain the water as it is brought into the bulk water tank reservoir, then to you as a community. Then the Department of Water and Sanitation, they manage the allocation of the main and the dams thereof. As I continue with service delivery challenges, the lack of roads. We are aware of lack of roads and stormwater system, and the flooding of the areas here, particularly the Hammanskraal areas, which is water. It's on the water. What do you call this term? The water level is too high. Therefore, most of our roads are being challenged. Particularly the issues of roads and accesses within the township. So this is one of the challenges because it's the wetland. I wanted that word. The wetland, most of the areas covered of the wetland, which makes our roads so unuseful or usable. So during flooding, it becomes worse, particularly in most of the areas that are far from the main roads. So here, as you can see, these are the capex or the capital projects that are planned to resolve those issues. However, in this financial year, the budget is zero. There's no budget at the moment to execute such, but the projects are already planned for. As I conclude on issues of service delivery challenges, in the west of Region 2, because the western part of Region 2, which is the Stakeholder or Reference, is the service delivery. Most of the service delivery, as a region, we have realized that most of the development is taking place in the eastern side than the western. So therefore, it's something that we are looking at to say that those areas, Stakeholder, Newesteres, Dilompie, Majaning, as well as Majaning, however, it's in the northern side, in the eastern side, they've acute the shortage of social and recreation facilities and remain a higher pressure point. So the construction of Stakeholder multi-purpose social development center, which is already completed in terms of the construction itself, is one that we hope it can bring a lot and drive a lot of economical and probably job creation within those areas, because we don't have other infrastructures that are of that nature in those areas. In conclusion, Region 2 requires an infrastructure-led development to deal with the backlog of basic service and underdevelopment. I thank you.
Okay. Agre re tlo tseya dikgang ne. Re tlo bolela ke le nna le tlo bolela. Ya ke kopa le utlwele nna ke le drive nyana. Re khona o utlwelana re tsamaisa mere go pile. O tlile ma councillor a goloza mola ke di ward councillors minister deputy minister. Ke di ward councillors mo tlile ba goloza when there was a synopsis of the report. Then but we'll have a broader conversation. Let's go warane. Ge ndate Mguni a fetsa o etsa welcome. Ke utlwile le batha matsone ke re go translate a re utlwile o ra re. Lo a fetsa ngotlo ha mo le utlwile ndate khosa o ra re. Ala utlwa. Ala utlwa. Na bolela ka pena. Okay. No a utlwellaneng ge. Re ska lwa ke re ge o sa utlwa o emisa letsogo wa butsisa ra o tlhalosetsa ke re. Go ba se bolella hore bo botle ba re tle re khone o utlwa mara nna ba ngiretse hore ke translate ne le ntato ke na le nyana mo gaufi le nna o translate la ba ba sa khone o utlwa re bolela ke re then ke tlo translate gore ntate Mguni na ra amohela ke re gore dimtja di bofilwe re repeng ke mo hae mo re le motemo and then hele batla di toilet tsa rona le tswa ka monyako le mola le akwa le left ko morao kwa rena le di toilet because of toilet tsa rena tsa ka mo di bereke ke kopa di toilet di beile ko morao kwa le tseleng gore ke di mobile re di berekise go teng then tate Mguni o tlhalositse gore speaker a teng ka jeno o khopetse gore e nne ena tlhalosang molaetsa o lo amogela then o la amogetse gore le di stakeholders le batho ba botlhokwa thata that's why go biditse kopano ya ka jeno mo gore re tle re bolele le lona le batho ba important 9 go felletsa ko ntate Tarara Mothwa ko ward 14 then ra di ward 9 akere ward 49 ward 73 ward 76 ward 75 ward 74 ward 8 ward 95 le ward 14 akere le ward 13 oh no ke lebetse ka bo mo re le tle le tsoe nyana lo le bontsora la robala then what 13 ke ko most mvatere mola then ntate khosa a le ka o tlhalosa hore regional ne rena le yone rena le ena le karolo tse pedi na le south le north ke what is the 9 tsena le tsona ko south ke go bo Montana Zambezi area ile leng go mora go fona re buong akere then a boa tlhalosa hore re na le mananeo a kgwebo economic activities tsena le tsona then tsena le tsona go tloa go fona re buong go mora kwa la tlhalosa re na le molo tse pedi tse kgolo o ileng Colonnade le Jubilee molo akere le reka mola le kolotisa motemo mo shopong tse le mola then ke Jubilee mo le kolotisa motemo then ka mo morao ka mola ko Montana kwa ke ko ileng rona le wati engwe a re tsokolo go ya ka maemo a economy e ka mo north ka mo ba ba leng ka mo morao ka mo south ba ikgona ke batho ba ileng gore ba ikgona ka maemo a economy then a boa tlhalosa hore ba belege ke tse leng gore ke di tlisa moruo wa rona di godisa economy ya rona batho ba rena ba batla mebereko ko teng lo re hape re itse hore re na le university mo la re bitsa TVET kale ne ba re ke manpower mo Themba mara le bala hape hore mo malobe mola ba announce gore re tlo nna le crime detection university mo maphodisa mo kepising la witse go tlo nna le university mola mara ke maphodisa then ebe a le ka go atolosa mananeo a di services tse rena le tsona gore re bereka mo Themba mola rena le pleke ya rena o tlhatswa metsi le le gore metsi a rena mo Haskono rena le infrastructure ya gilwe mola byae go le ka o lokisa loso ne be ke katle o go tata nkoso ne etele moswe e go pa le mpethele matsogo ke feditse le nna ka ka translation but ke utlwile nna le ngongora but re tlo nna le yona go ilukisa ngongora ya metsi ko pele ntse re tse re dikgang then ha yanong ke tlile go kopa ntate Kgomo go tswa go departmenteng ya rona ya public service and administration.
Let me recognize the Deputy Minister, Dr. Chana Pilane Majake, the MEC, Ms. Tasnim Mutara, the Councillor, Dade Aaron Maluleka, other councillors Balinteng like Dade Adam Mashapa, the in absentia Deputy President, visit communities and engage. What are the challenges in the particular communities? What are different sectors doing to address some of those challenges or to bring services to the communities? And what are the solutions, as a collective, to bring those solutions to the communities? So last year, 2022 February, Cabinet took a decision where we must establish close relations with communities and build a strong social contract between government and the people we serve. Hence, you have seen the President is in Imbizo taking place across all provinces. Ministers, deputy ministers are also mandated to do the same, and that is part of the reason why we are here today, to engage for the Deputy Minister to engage with you as stakeholders to discuss what are you doing as a stakeholder to bring services in the community, to bring development in this community, whatever contribution that you're making, let's talk to that, but also what are the challenges that you are encountering. Ke matsapa feng a leng gore re a tseya fela ha re bone tswelopele. And then ki eng se re se tlhokang as a community or as stakeholders re ka buisana le government gore re ka thusana byang go fitlhella ditlhoko tsa rena o go solve mathata re nang le ona. Sa boraro re batla go buledisana ka di-solutions ke ditharabololo tse feng tse re ka bontshanang ka tsona ra tla ka tsona gore the problems tse re bonang re di fitlhella re di experience as sectors, as a community, tharabololo tsa mathata a re kopanang le ona ke tse feng. Now government e ka setle ka ditharabololo ka ntle le go buisana le setšhaba, because setšhaba ke sona se itemogelang mathata a banang le ona. Jwale solution e tlotla haholo from mo bathong ba bonang ba kopana le mathata ao, because ke lona le tlhaloganyang maemo a le leng mo go ona. So the solutions to your problems di tlotla mo go lona hape. Ha go tla traka e re kitse di solutions. So the engagement ya kasheko, it's basically gore a re boledisaneng, a re bontshaneng maatla. In a nutshell, ke yona purpose ya today's engagement. Ke a leboga. Sorry, Program Director, just excuse me. Go na le dipampitshana tse tshwanang le eng tse tlo fiwang everybody mo ditafoleng. Re kopa gore ha gona, because re ka se kgone utlwella everybody a kere ha re tlo exchange di views tsa rena. Go ka ba le tse ding tsa mathata le gore ha re kgone go a tseya re buisane ka ona gona yanong. So dipampitshana tse re tlo kopa gore le ngole, please write whatever challenge or whatever issue. It can be ideas to say an issue is we can solve it in this particular way. So what I left on, and then leaditly saying motafuling, you can give me or some of my colleagues moditafuling across the room.
Rale wanda de Kgomo le mutli la kere. Ke na le relaxed na hore le tlo kgona go bolela kere. Then go sa kgone kwala. Go na le batho ba rena di officials tsa rena tsa government tse tla kwala. Wena no mo sebela fela hore nna mathata le ka la no makona. I want you to write the following. O tla kwala ke mmere kwa ya kere. Le ska itshwenya ka hore ko kwala be a nna. no ba teng ba tla re thusa. Re tlile gore yaanong re kry Deputy Minister wa rona a tla re beele lenaneo la rena pila ke re ba re tlhaloseditse lebaka. Mme Chana Pilane Majake, Dr. Chana Pilane Majake ke Deputy Minister a rona o tlile gore bea pila mo maemong a rena mo re le mo teng gore re tlile go tsamaisa lenaneo la rena yang ka tšeko ke eng tse dingwe tsa departmente tse ba di etsang, then morago ga mo go tlile go latelela MEC le ena o tlile go tlhalosa ka presentation ya province. Ge re fetsa mo re tlo kry-a nako ya o bolela yaanong re tse dikgang le re tlhalosetse gore mara wa itse mola o na le bothata ba sekete le sekete mara nano re ka bo solva ka tsela e so le so a ke re itse mathata a rona ebile re itse le di-solution tse re nana gore proposa ebe re botsise le gore government e re lebetse na or e batla go etsa eng ka sekete le sekete ra utlwana ke re bagolo. Then ke tlile go kopa Deputy Minister gore a tle a bolele le rena. Deputy Minister kopa re methele matsogo.
Dumelang, sanibona, macheron o matshehare, abusheni, good afternoon, goeiemiddag, molweni. It's good to be here, to be with you this afternoon. What we are coming here for is what we call stakeholder engagement, which is a normal process in government that actually reaches out to communities to manage to engage communities and also at the same time allow communities to participate and engage with government. So what I'm trying to say here is that I'm not just coming. I can't take it bulela lele na ke le wotsa. Ke tlo bulela lele na hore together re kgone engage. We want to engage ka bakeng la hore as we go out really government reaching out to communities, we want to know as to whether dilo di tsamaya gantle na. Ga di sa tsamaya gantle ke eng e sa tsamaeng gantle. Ene ke eng e sa tsamaeng gantle e leng gore e batla attention and what could be possible solutions. So with coming to you, ira gore e batla le go encourage gore re utlwelle lona le leng the people on the ground gore di ideas tsa lona di reng ke eng e le batlang gore di diragale le batla le bona e ka diragala jang. And lately the president is actually utilizing a slogan, leave no one behind. And we can only be in the position not to leave anyone behind if we engage. The more we engage is the more we will be in the position to manage to bring with everybody or tshwantseng re tsamaye le ena. Mo gare ga rona re na le program director, re na le MEC wa rona and member of the provincial legislature, Tshwane Region. O later le ena a tlabeng a bua le lona based on what I've just actually articulated now. Re batla gore re dumela mme wa rona Tshwane Region hile le ke administrator ya office ya gage. This parliamentary constituency office is one way of parliament. I can lie to rona, the executives at the same time, remember of the legislature, remember of parliament. The parliament le ona ina le that interest as much as the legislature ya gore go bane le processes tse di re thusang gore re kgone re sutelle ko bathong. Ga gona tiro e ka diragalang e leng gore ke tiro e ka diragalang sentle re dutse ka mogare ga di office tsa rona. Re tsamaya gape re na le makhanselara a lona, khansela Mahlangu, khansela Sonia Mabulawa, khansela Mashapa wa Ward 49, khansela wa rona wa o tswang ko ntlong ngesizulu bathi o boya endlunkulu ba rona ba di traditional leader, khansela ya rona Mavis Kekana re rata go go amogela Re acknowledge also the traditional leadership e re tsamayang le yona. Rata go also go acknowledge le faith-based organizations tse leng teng mo gare ga rona. Rata o dumedisa gape le ba City of Tshwane, re leboga gore le la utlwa ga gore a le tlhalosetse sentle gore dilo di tsamayang mo Tshwane, ka gore re ka nna ra tla re le national mara ga re tsamaya re sa tshwara le Tshwane dilo tse re tlo di buang nako nngwe di ka se di a etsa sense. Ra leboga Rre Mokuni, re leboga le Rre Keifase o re fileng seemo sa Tshwane. Rata o leboga gape re leboga le re wa rona Rre Terence Magoro. Before re tla kwano re visit some of the service delivery points, because as the Department of Public Service and Administration, our business is to know what is going on at the service delivery points, whether it's health, whether it's education, whether it's safety and security. Anything that is about delivery of service for South Africans becomes our business. So this morning, Neretsa the unannounced visits for some of the service delivery points. And one of the service delivery points is Jubilee Hospital. Mo eleng gore Rre Terence Magoro na a re leader. Gore ro sheba Jubilee Hospital dilo di tsamayang ko teng. Re tsene re bone, re tsene re buisane le bona. Go na le some of the areas that are not really pleasing go Jubilee Hospital. But there's areas also that actually are exciting. When we went to the new wing, I got so excited that I don't know whether some of you have been to that new wing. It feels like you're in a private hospital. But there's a casualty. Re engage is seriously le bona. Gore go casualty go ska bana le batho ba dutseng sebaka se se telle. O kre ba re batho ba dula ha ba attendiwe. CEO wa rona wa ko Jubilee Hospital ke motho leng gore o ikemiseditse go reetsa o na reditse sentle o re promisitse o tla re ka morago a bona gore dilo di tla tsamaya sentle. Re tsamaya gape le a number of other senior managers from government le bona ra re leboga ha ile gore ba khonne gore ba tsamaye le rona ka jeno, including ba tswang go di office tsa rona, office ya MEC le me Rips Murudi o tswang ko office ya me o eleng yena o na tshwarane le Rre Khomo ba organizer event e. Kantle ga lona event wouldn't actually have been possible. So in a nutshell, what I'm trying to actually also put forward, what are the problems of Hammanskraal? Some of it was actually something that was of national concern. And this is why Liboni after, was it not cholera? Not COVID. Yeah, was it cholera? What is the one there? Cholera. After the cholera outbreak, Liboni President Atla to visit the Royval water treatment plant to try and find out what is it that is a problem. It wasn't only the president that came, different ministers coming, Minister of Kokta, Minister of Water and Sanitation, but like everybody, including the city of Tshwane, including the province, batlo itsuhure, na re ga ba go diragetseng, why batho ba tlhokofala ba re ke cholera. But what we've been told is that there has been a research that was actually done on water. It was found that there was absolutely nothing wrong with the water. So garitsi sentle gore cause ne le ko kae. But the fact of the matter is, but wa Hammanskraal bana le gore ba re bona metsi a bona ga loka. And re ka se tswalle ditsebe re utlwa gothe metsi ga loka. Re a itse. What I'm trying to say re tla mo re itse what the problems are. Re tla mo re itse le gore another challenge ke challenge national, challenge ya load shedding. Eleng gore gona ya nong one of us o eleng onkileng ya ba ena mayor ra rona Tshwane Res Putla Ramokgopa ke ena we tshwereng o rumile ke President Ramaphosa re go tsamaye o tshwara the bull by the horns. And all of us know who Putla Ramokgopa is. We've seen how Tshwane developed and advanced kana go tsa Putla. Re bone dira bo ra vaya a dira di Wi-Fi ga di ntlo tsa di RDP dilo tse ntse le rong ka ke khone re nka dimension gona ya nong o busy o tshwarane le e ya load shedding, because it is our interest to actually manage to provide these basic services to South Africa in accordance with the constitutional democracy that we've got. Ke ra itse ka constitutional democracy, it promises South Africans basic socio-economic rights. The rights are education, it's a healthy, water and sanitation, it's shelter, it's ing. Rale karele puso, who provided those basic socio-economic rights, including just issues tse tsamaelanang le social security, the grants tse di nang le tsona tsa mefuta-futa tsa batho ba sa itekanelang, ke tsa batho ba kry-ang bana ba kry-a di-grante. Matsatsi a kutla gate le borre ba di lwela re le nna ke ngwana ke mphe grant, re re nya ga se ya lona batsadi ke ya ngwana, e tshwanetse tsamaye o reka mashi, e seke ba ya dira manala, e seka dira meriri, e dire gore mo South Africa go seke be gwa bana le ngwana o robetseng ka tlala. The intention and the spirit behind coming up with the child support grant e neng ilidi ke the Land Commission. Ke nako tse le ko pele ga ne re starta democracy, there was something called the Land Commission e ileng ya etsa gore go bane le yona this child support grant. Kana child support grant is not something new. During apartheid no gona le ntwe ne ba re ke maintenance grant, but if you are fela magoa batho ba bantsho ba ne ba sa fiwe yona. This is why baba itsing kana go tsa land commission, when it was actually giving the report, gona le a lot of noise saying yo tšhelete nyane so ba re yo gona no maintenance ne le bokana. Rare now all of us are getting, which means from whatever money that we've got, everybody tshwantse a segelwe sengwenyana, unlike before where things were actually just meant for the few. All of us, then it means as much as everything is for bona. So what I was talking about, socio-economic rights that government is actually making available, making reference to the various types of grants. Shelter, I'm sure I easily shelter for the RDP, they're made available so that reads le khonor le krem pleke leng gore e decent. It is our wish as government to get rid of the informal settlements. But our disappointment is that every time we build RDP houses, in the morning, after informal settlement declares. These are things that we need to work out with you. That's why the outreach programs say so. Some of the people tell us, Africa, the South Africans, some go and sell them to migrants. Into an informal settlement. And they must now be counted again as people who are actually looking for houses. You know, South Africa is the only country in the world that provides free housing. This is how much this government cares for you. And government, let's work together. Anything that is a problem, let all of us put our heads together so that we can be in the position to manage to deal with it. And we acknowledge the challenge, the too many numbers of people that we're supposed to be working with. Remember, South Africa, it's looked at by Africa as a land of hope. It attracts everybody, but why South Africa? And I'm not saying this trying to promote xenophobia. I'm talking about this so that we become realistic in a manner in which we look at things. We become realistic in a manner in which we make demands. Because, you know, for a number of reasons, you find that sometimes when stories are told, when comments are made about what government can give, the comments is saying, the government is not giving enough. When government is giving so much, but also with government we work within the fiscus of the country. Annually, as government, rebana so much. And that much must have to deal with everything and anything that has got to do with service delivery and running the government. So some of the demands, o kry le gore di bile di ya beyond government. And I get like so much is being done. Ha se fela di grant tse pedi tse tharo tse ke buileng ka tsona. Ha se fela ntlo tse ke buileng ka tsona. You go to school, the schools are now free. In the past, skolo ne se se mahala. Skolo no patela school fees, ha ona le bana ba 5, ba tla ga le di request tse 5 tsa school fees, ba tla le di book list tse 5. Whether you are working or not, there was no special arrangement for anybody that's not working. Unlike today, bile ka jeno, ba city of Tshwane itse a kere go na le gore let's a special provision for people who are not working, for free water and electricity. Maloba mo le go no sna ntho tse tshwanang le tsego. But the point e ke buang ke gore re tlhaloganye sentle the commitments the government, the many commitments the government ina le tsone. Ha ba ntse ba ya sekolong, ba kra di buka tsa mahala. Ba tsena sekolo mahala, ba ja mahala. And khona what is nice, utla fela ba di buka tsa la di a fitla. But di buka di tla fitla. Ha go tshwane malo bana re tlo go bontsha Hammanskraal. Re tsamaye go Hammanskraal ka pa go Protea o rekela bana ba ga go di buka. But what government, the message that government is sending, gore re tlhaloganye gore when government gives, government ha ire mo Africa dula ka tlase ga setlhare. Government only gives so that ha mo Africa ali weak, re re itshwarelle, ikokotlele, so that re go bona so tsamao o ya go pele on your own. Ke molaetso e leng gore government o batla go romela ka gore nako ngwe batho ene nako ngwe ke ka mogoli di communicate ka teng. Go ba ka re gore government e tshwanetse e go direle sengwe le sengwe. Kante government is there to support you when it's difficult. E tsene ka mogare ga ntlo ga gago e dire dilo tse ne tshwantse o di dire wena o le rre ka go ra itse re seemo se sebe. That's why re tla go botsa, are you working, are you not working? And then re assess gore now ra bona gore seemo se sebe re o santse o sa sebetse o tla qualify for this, le tla qualify for that. But that does not necessarily mean it's things that will be there that government is supposed to actually offer forever. Re na le 350 a ke re la itse ele ya cold drink, ele ke ya cold drink le tee. E President Ramaphosa o rileng ke re ha ke nwa tee ke ska nwa tee ke le mong. Ke itse all South Africans ba pallang go reka matlhare a tee le mmeleke ba gone gore ba le bona ba reke matlhare a tee le mmeleke ba nwe tee le bona. That's how much your government cares for you. You have a government that cares. And we must thank the constitutional democracy. Ena go ngwe le yona ka nako teng. Because constitutional democracy, also, as we have become a rights-based society, a society that understands that rights goes hand in hand with responsibilities. And this is why when you go to clause number 36 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa, it talks about limitations to rights. That's why sometimes we even talk about fair discrimination. We will discriminate on you because go fair. Ha se re sheba seemo se re lebella rena. Re bona re hai man e maganyane. Itsamaelana gape le se le tse re buang ka tsona tse krem ba re ke affirmative action. Affirmative action a ke ba bang ba discriminate against us. As a discrimination, ke fair discrimination. Realizing and understanding the fact that there are certain groups of people who benefited more than the others in the past. And to manage to bridge the gap and create that balance, you need to come up with fair discrimination. And that actually also goes into the issue of gender. Understanding the history of women and men and the fact that life previously was actually structured in a way that actually suits men and actually provides opportunities to men. Now, because we are in the constitutional democracy and we consider the status of women to be important, there must be also bias sometimes in favor of women. When you talk about education, and we understand that a lot of women in the past were not educated, not because they didn't want to be educated, it's because society was such that it did not want to actually educate women because the world was male focused. Lili family no tla kra ga tshwentse ngwana ye go sekolong. Family ere go tla ya wa moshimane ka re wena o tlo nyala. These are some of the things that used to happen in families, which we think by now because of the clause 9 of the Constitution, yeah, equality clause doesn't allow that anymore. Bana ba bashimane le basetsana ba tshwana. Though at times we talk about the girl child. And when we talk about the girl child, it's not because we want to discriminate against the boy child. It's because we realize that the problems that women experience, some of the problems started when they were girl children. And this is why now, but experience the problems. And if you don't deal with those problems at the stage when they are girl children, like just the issue of education, looking at the education system, how it suits the girl child, whether there's all the girl child manage to get opportunities of getting into education institutions. So this is why we actually need to do that. So basically, this is what our interest is, to come to you, not to come and preach. We're not coming here to preach for you. We're coming here to come and engage you, in order for you to engage with us so that together we can come up with solutions towards building Hammanskraal. A place that I take everybody olinkamo. We want to see Hammanskraal flourishing. And anything that is negative, anything that is a challenge about Hammanskraal, I think it's incumbent upon you to really come up with solutions in order for you to actually, together with us, manage to deal with these solutions. Renale MEC wa rona o tlabeng a bua o tlhagang ko economic development. And I'm mentioning this because also we understand that you are already experiencing it. Nowhere in the world would you find that government itself can be in the position to manage to create jobs. We know that the private sector also has to help government to create jobs. And we know as South Africa, we have created a good business environment in South Africa so that business can thrive in South Africa. And if you look around you and you know and understand South Africa, you will see that business in South Africa is thriving. But somehow, there's certain groups of people that still lags behind. And normally what we say is that for us to now be in the position to share the wealth that business, good business of South Africa is managing to generate, we are requesting business to create jobs. That's the one way of ensuring that South Africans manage to actually share the wealth that is generated by business, the business that we have created a good business environment for here in South Africa. You can hear people talking about business to say business is not doing well and what have you. But for a long time, we've seen really business in South Africa growing. But the point I was going to come to was that when it comes to issues of unemployment, it's not only the responsibility of government, business must play its part, but even at individual and family level, we can be in the position to do certain things, like really teaching our children to become entrepreneurial. I've come across a lot of people who say, our children are educated. They have degrees. They're sitting at home. Let's use those skills to look at how they can actually make business out of them. Because the more we become entrepreneurial, the lesser we will become dependent of being hired by somebody to come and work for them. And remember, when you go and work for somebody, you're going to work for somebody to make them rich. When you begin your own business, you work on something that you know, even if you work your butt off, it's going to pay you. Let's encourage the spirit of being entrepreneurial. And the more people we getting into business, the better for us and our economy and economic development. Because then it will increase the GDP. And when the GDP goes up, the inflation goes down. When the inflation goes down, the food basket becomes affordable. Life becomes easy for all of us. And I'm sure for now you can feel the pinch because the inflation is up and the food basket is very expensive. So there's a whole lot more ways of actually having to manage to do things that can actually help to advance us as a society. What I'm saying is that, yes, we can on our own. There's nobody that can come all the way from Europe to come and rescue us. The rescue is in our hands. What is important is for us to know how to listen to each other. What is important is for us to manage to move in unison together, to have a vision. If it's a Hammanskraal vision, it must be a Hammanskraal vision. People of Hammanskraal saying, this place, we're going to see this place flourishing. And understanding that there's a whole lot more of other issues that accompany this, including issues of morality and things like that. Because sometimes we ignore certain things, thinking that they don't impact negatively on our lives. But if the morals also go down, and the kind of lifestyles, and this nyaope, and there is this coming in, no matter how ambitious as a community you can be, they become debilitating. We are engaging, and I'm just hoping that as we engage, we understand that we're not going to actually have people standing up and saying, hey, this, and then it's not followed by a suggestion towards a solution. Because we do believe in you, that you can be in the position together with us, work out solutions that can actually help to drive processes forward in this area ya Hammanskraal. Ke a leboga.
Ra leboga Deputy Minister. Le utlwile kere? Ya re tswela pele yanong. A kere ba re bobedi bo bola noga ne. O re bola noga e le mathata. Ene ke bone di stakeholders minister already ka mo. Ke bone SGBs. Ke bone informal traders. Ke bone health caregivers.
Whether the staff employed by government are doing the work in the manner in which they are supposed to, in the manner in which we expect, in the manner in which we want to get services from government employees. Of course, public service and administration doesn't apply to municipalities and municipal officials, but it's important that all government officials, whether you are in a municipality, whether you are in provincial government, whether you are in national government, whether you are in an entity, offer the public professional service in a very helpful and respectful manner, and that they respect and espouse the principles of Batupili. And because these people, these employees, these servants of the public sector are there really to be able to be the face, the first point of call for anybody looking for government service, and they must give us what is the real, what everybody should really experience when they want to interact with government. Today we received a presentation just on social development. There are going to be changes in the way social development provides the various grants. We'll communicate that as the Department of Social Development nationally communicates it. We'll be here to interact with communities as well, just to take you through how those changes are going to affect you, where you must go, and how you're going to access the various grants. It includes the 350 Rand unemployment grant, old age pensions, disability grants, child welfare support, all the services from social development. But there have been a number of challenges, especially as it relates to the post office, where you have been accessing social services. We have a number of other community-related programs and projects. Not so long ago, the MEC of Health was here just to interact with the community of Hammanskraal as well, linked to the program at the hospitals of wellness, because we do believe that if we focus on our well-being and our overall state of health, we will also ease the pressure at the hospitals. Many of our diseases that we spend a lot of money or most of our money on are preventable diseases because they are linked to your lifestyle. So it's either your diet, the wrong type of diet, we're eating the wrong foods, we don't have good habits of social habits, there's excessive alcohol, there's excessive, the wrong types of food. That leads to lifestyle diseases like hypertension, diabetes, high levels of cholesterol, and it's where we are spending a lot of our money. We also have seen, Deputy Minister, an increase in the number of new infections of HIV and AIDS. And we believe that we do have to do a lot of re-education, because there was a period in South Africa where we were doing very well in terms of new infections. We reduced mother-to-child transmission and also new infections amongst teenagers. But recently we have seen an increase in new transmissions, especially amongst the youth. And sadly, it's amongst very young children, even as early as 12 years old, Deputy Minister. So those are things that we need to work together with the communities, various NGOs, various sectors, to be able to work together to address. What the Deputy Minister said is very true. If we work together and come up with a single plan for what we want Hammanskraal to look like in the future, we can find the solutions within ourselves with little government support and help, but the rest of it we can find amongst ourselves. We are proud to announce, Deputy Minister, that in Hammanskraal, the district here is the top performing in the province in terms of education. Matric pass rates for the past, I think, 2 to 3 years consecutively. We believe that even next year we'll maintain that top position of Hammanskraal, the district here being the top performing in terms of results. So it is proof that your circumstances don't determine where you can go, what you can achieve, what you can become. It's up to you how much of work, effort, and dedication and commitment you put in. And with that, like I said, government support to take you one step forward, but what we can do together needs us individually to put our strengths together, but also to support each other collectively, so that we can achieve greater things than just being the top performer in terms of matric results in the whole of the province. Deputy Minister, I think today you also called to give an interaction and a session with the community members. So I've highlighted those just to say that yes, there's a lot of things that we have done, we've improved, there's still a lot of challenges, and until we resolve those challenges, even if they change, even if they become more and more difficult, even if the challenges that we find today are addressed, but we have new challenges tomorrow, we'll continue to work with community members, we'll continue to work in our different communities. We have a very good relationship with the tribal authorities. We communicate and interact with them on a regular basis. We also have a very good relationship with the faith-based organization. Not long ago, we held a very big prayer session in preparation for the matric exams, Deputy Minister. So we enjoy a good working relationship with various sectors in our community, and we believe that we can grow it, it can become stronger, so that together we can find solutions. So I think we do need an opportunity to listen to community members, Deputy Minister, so that those things that, even if we've not spoken about it or if we know about it, they can emphasize it, they can still have an opportunity to speak up about it, because this is their platform to be able to raise those. Thank you very much, Deputy Minister, for providing this platform for all of us in the Parliamentary Constituency Office, but also to bring national government closer to Hammanskraal. Hammanskraal, I know, would have always complained that we are so far from the center of Gauteng. Often we are treated as we are not part of Gauteng. We don't look like we are part of Gauteng. But if we can continue to engage and respect each other, make sure that your issues are attended to and addressed, we raise them in various platforms, we fight on your behalf together with you side by side, we also believe that Hammanskraal will definitely look and feel and be part of Gauteng. Thank you very much.
Alala Missy, alala. Alala, Program Director, alala. Le nna ke a te tshegelanyana yaanong le motho la kere MEC o tlhalositse mmereko wa Gauteng government ke eng. Oh yeah, then re tshwere dikgang tse tsotlhe ke nako a le enanong re bolele ene tshwanetse re dumelane ka nako kere gore o botsisa potso gore o ka ba o feta 2 minutes tla bo betsa speech yanong tla bo sa botlhele botsa question mara o botsa question 2 minutes o ka ba wa nna moganyeng akere then ke thoma kamo ke thoma kamo ba ba batlang go botsa di-question ka mo ba emise matsogo a ke re bonang ke 1 2 3 4 la e bona kere then ke kamo ke fša kamo ke bomang kamo Ntate Mailwane ya le ntate ka mona number 2 number 3 ko morago ya ke ba number 4 ko ba le bete 2 minutes ne re ka fetsa before load shedding itla tsena Ntate Mailwane MEC, we are going to get you a stand here. We are going to cut you for 40 by 40. You will be a resident here. Yeah, Ntate Mailwane, just introduce yourself for Kwena Mang, also stakeholders thing, and then also more questioning.
Okay. Dumelang bagaetso. Leadership, Ergili Dumedis, all protocol observed. Wa bolela mo ke Philip wa Hamailwane from the NPO sector. Ke chairperson ya region ya the NPO from the organization called Reference Healthcare Giving Program. Councillor Arun, our Deputy Minister and our MEC has said a mouthful. The issue e raise now, the issue that relates to young people, especially on health. The issue along horing cause of the spread ka mukwa MEC nabelela is the challenge here the condoms. We don't have the condoms. I get working circa Sira South Africa or manufacture the condoms are on. So that the rest record the condom from outside the country. So this increases the spread of HIV to young people. Remember, there are young people who are born with HIV. And some of them were not told that they are born with HIV. When they come, they become now sexually active. They don't even protect themselves because they are not aware. That is one. Number 2, the challenge facing on young people is test kit, pregnancy test. I don't know how good can we solve that challenge. Because our young people have a good clinic in Barbayo prevent. You'll find that that pregnancy test, and they have to fight for that pregnancy test and find it somewhere. My last one that I want to put on the table, the challenge I received from other NPOs, the Dilanli young people. With children within our space. The challenge these organizations access the letters for them to implement the child care program accordingly. Because the assessment for them to get funded. There's this thing it's an assessment by check onale this plan and onale this ERF number that will then assist you and in yesterday and those things are not there. So I'll therefore recommend that leadership le Carolina local national le mandate maspalo wa rena gore ha re fitla ko maspaling re tlhoka dilotsi ba no re ngwalla administration le tla bereka ka yona morago di hand over tsa Northwest le bereka ka tsona morago rena re santse re hodisa bana ke a leboga
Ntate Mailwane. Number 2.
Chumela, I am Mimoki Emankabini from CPF Yastable Shop.
Just before Emane, MEC are hopela hore a tsamaye ne ha nya tse meeting ne una le engagement e nngwe e latelang. Then le mona a re pote a so re wa lenyatsa ne. Tsa etsa Gauteng le kana la ditloela mo tafoleng mo. Then re tla re mo fitisetsa tsona ke re.
Okay.
Ke a leboga, kana tswela pele o sema.
Nna ke na le bothata ba gore ngwana go na le 2 years a feditse matric and o applied to NSFAS mara ha she ba respondiwe. And really crime e tletseng most inventory too much. Re lla ka yona crime e bile ha e thoma mama bona tshaba ke mo crime e leng worse. Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, I spoke about your living, MEC, that you are living, and it's not out of disrespect, you've got other engagements. Number 3.
Dumelang, ke le dumedisa ka moka le baeng ba rena wa bolelang ke Pastor Daniel Makwela from Kanana mo Hammanskraal. Problem ya mathomo ya loreng ki lemogile more especially when it comes to issue ya the public participation. Ke khopela le shumishe di radio station tsa rena. The reason why gona le ditulo tse di empty, it is because the messages di fitlhella batho ba ba few. Ka lebaka la gore melaetsa a etsamae. Gona le ba ile re ba fiwa yona because ba tseba gore gona le tse dingwe tsa lo tse loreng ba tlo fetsa ba di benefit and so forth. As a belief, more especially ma councilor arena le ba etapela ba rena shumisha di radio station tsa rena melaetsa e fitlhe setšhabeng because batho ba palla go attend as a result of that. And sabobedi challenge le goreng le buletsi Deputy MEC ya empowerment ya the businesses. Kere ke do dira public, frankly speaking, the business di gona e fela the opportunities di na le matlo gona le batho ile gore ba preferiwa when it comes to empowerment ya the businesses. The opportunities di na le matlo gona le batho ile gore ba preferiwa more than the others. So that is why go tlo dula gona le poverty, as the second speaker I indicated le gore poverty is on the north. It is because gona le batho ile gore ke di favorites or they are more preferred than the others. As much as the job opportunities, frankly speaking, go fela biao. Se sengwe se ke le kang go se highlighta go gore ka citing ya di NPO, as I said, I am a pastor. Not specifically ke berekishana le sanka and dealing ka taba ya bana ba rena ba ile gore ba tsuba. As a belief batswadi ba ile gore le tshwenya ke bana and so forth around. A re lekeng go bona gore re ka tshwarishana byang di program di gona go sanka jadi outpatients tsa mahala and even the social development gona la ba ile re ke berekishana le bona the inpatients and outpatients programs tse le gore they are free. Ke khopela go setšhaba re at least re swarishane go leka go thusha our community members. Ke a leboga.
Thanks. Number 4.
Dumelang batswadi. Ke a leboga program director le ketapele leng teng mo pele. Re leboga le deputy minister kono ka fitla kwana mo Hammanskraal. Deputy minister, we are young people.
Vitora wena but
Tsepo Maluleka from Hammanskraal. We are young people and then we are volunteers in the area of Hammanskraal. And then we have applied so many times for the Nasi Spani programs. I don't know how many times we applied. And then still nothing is happening. Can you please check on that? And number 2, service delivery, Deputy Minister. In Region 2, service delivery on the northern part, where majority of 9 wards are situated. In Region 2, Service delivery is collapsed. There's nothing. Poor roads, sewer, the place is smelly everywhere for in our communities. So imagine if that environment is unsafe for them. Point number 3, tourism destination. Hammanskraal, we have economic hub, Dinokeng, we have Babele, but those things are benefiting individuals instead of the community. Moving right along. Sports and recreation facilities in Region 2 is very poor. Stadiums, parks, everywhere. So ropela kai, bana bo dlalla kai, heba tla dikolo. Ya bofelo, CPF. We have CPF around the community of Hammanskraal. Please, arba recognizing what one recognize our police. Ralevo.
Thank you. Yeah, ditsika for yene. Erekere MEC ya bolele ka issue ya nasi Spani le Dinokeng, and then before tsamane. Okay. So betamatso. Kenya ka Arabe because wa tsamaya MEC ya kere. Then ke tlotla mo tafoleng e. MEC, can you just speak to nasi Spani and Dinokeng Game Reserve before you leave? And available programs on fighting Nyaupe in Gauteng.
Thank you so much. I think I'll start with the availability of condoms. What we can do is we can escalate it to the MEC of Health to see what intervention or response we can provide. We'll communicate it through the councillors, but I'm guessing it's a problem that's across the whole province. On Nasispan, so we have not completed the recruitment of all Nasispan posts. We received many more applications than we expected, so it has taken longer to be able to fill those posts. Some departments have started, some have not. We, in fact, today got a presentation of where that process is. But it's taking slower than we expected, like I said, because we got too many applications, more than. So if you had, for instance, one post, we had 1,500 applications. You have to go through all the applications. You have to follow the process. So at least the Minister of DPSA is here. You have to shortlist. You have to interview. I know that last week the Department of COGTA was starting the interview process for the posts that they are going to appoint, and those are called the community. They are to help civic educators. Yes, the civic educators. They started the process of interviewing last week, but they are doing it region by region. It's a slow process, but what we do want to do is to come back to each community and say, out of this community, these are the people who have been appointed, so that we run away from a question that says no one in Hammanskraal has benefited. They would have benefited. We will be able to say so-and-so was appointed, so-and-so was appointed, so-and-so. You may know them, you may not know them. But the point of Nasispan is to make sure that we open government to everybody. We want it to be as fair and transparent as possible, so that we are also run away from this accusation that you will only get a job in government if you know somebody or you are related to someone. So we'll provide all that information once it is concluded. On the issue of the game reserve, we tried to start a process of incorporating all the wards in Hammanskraal to re-establish the, not board, what is it called? The trust, yes, the trust. There were a number of challenges related to that process. We've put it on hold. We will restart it next year, where we will incorporate all the wards in Hammanskraal with new terms of reference, new sectors that will be represented on the trust, so that we can have it as inclusive and representative as possible. Currently, the trust does not incorporate all the wards of Hammanskraal. We have to have a way in which it is representative, the community is part of that trust. But the trust, and the reason we had to stop it was there is a misconception about what the trust is. So we need to go back, communicate what is the trust, what are you going to be expected to do if you make yourself available to serve in the trust. The game reserve is part government and part private. So there are portions in the game reserve that are owned, the land portions are owned by private individuals. It's where we have a lot of back and forth and a lot of challenges. On the government side, all we need to do is to get our provincial treasury to agree with us in putting more funding to develop those tourism products so that we can create more jobs here, attract more tourists so that they don't have to land in OR Tambo and go to Kruger National Park. They don't have to land in OR Tambo and then go to Sabi Sabi. They can land in OR Tambo, an hour's drive, they are in a free game reserve where you will see the big five and everything else. But we do need to work to develop more tourism products so that there's more jobs that we can create. We can develop more skills in the tourism sector. We can also develop more SMMEs that will support those tourism products. We have met, like I said, we'll start the process next year to reestablish the trust. And I hope that we'll get everybody to understand what will be expected, what the trust is, and what the trust is not. Thank you.
Yeah, legre karawela ne. Yeah, mbethele matsoho ne. Yeah, then re tsola pele. Roe matsoho. Ya teenage ke tlo fala bofelo wena ke nyaka o summarize e otle. A ke nyaka go thoma ka wena ke nyaka o summarize. Yeah, o yeme. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Yeah. Are tseng ka mko teenage u tlo itsa go bofelo le go botsene ke ska le bala teenage.
Dumela. Le ga ba gaitso. As manet MEC utsa maile mare di tla fitla ditaba tsa ha dithupa tse ne ke mmetse tsona. Ba gaitso nna le bitso la ke nna mo ke tse Donald wa Hammoeng. Ka sa fa mo di stakeholder tse dintsi mara e leng hore ke tletse ka tseno ke ya Community Policing Forum ya ko Rockville. Ko ke nnang wa 74. Ba gaitso. O kare maphodisa a le ba loketseng ba rena ba mpha province setse ba dilutile yona bana go di police stationeng because ka re a ba sana matla o tshwana ka mkhone re ba expectile go mathomong ke nthongwe ne khopolo re le level but now nevertheless na dio tse dintse leng gore tse very important tse le gore le di touchitse boetele dipele se le gore di a re tshwenya mo Hammanskraal maybe le la di tlhaetsa matlo Hammanskraal 1 shorter roads and storm water. And then in a problem ya hore batho ba bantse mo di flatlining and more hong ke di high water tables. And then rena le problem ya hore batho bao sometimes ba hanotloa mo di plekeng tse bjalo. And then because ba feel uncertain ka di properties tse ba di ahile mo bannang hona benong. So na re khopela hore le ka re thusa le boetele dipele hore bana ba batho ba tlo nna bana ka re ke di amphibian ba ka se nne bana ka re ke diphologolo tse di nnang boot ka metsing le ka montle metsi ntho nngwe hape ke issue ya ntwenyela ya babelegi ke nyako twina le ya ntwenyela le ya hospital ya rena Hammanskraal ke pleke se tseng e hodile ko population dynamics ya tshwenya because kamkho ntwenyela hospital ba nyoko developang ai hudis kora ai tsamaisan le ka mkholo ya setšhaba sa selinga teng le her ka kra di femetse la ra di bula tsotlhe batho ba le na mo Hammanskraal mostly ba ka se be employed so ho batla ha expansion And then le hele ha maybe spetlele le tshwantse le setse in such a way le gore tsamaisana le standard sa ga tseno and then le population ka mkhweleng. The other challenge e re leng teng mo Hammanskraal ke ka mkho pattern e leng gore town planner neng e ka teng. Sometimes I complimented the social amenities mo eleng gore bana ba borena ba dlalla mo haufi le hae di phaka di mo haufi irang o kre phaka e le go khole and bana ba nnang go haufi le phaka bona ba ka nnang convenient ba nnang go haufi le di ground ke bona ba leng gore ba ka khono go kra di opportunities tse ding tse leng gore ba nya go dira. So ne kana gore maybe the town planners alone you must le tshwenyela ya social amenities tse le gore di complementa community arena. Ya bofelo batho ba modimo disphasa tsa rena di hijackilwe. That thing is an economic hijack because rena re bolaile go hore ne re sa rekise IT ne re rekisa IT and then kana go eleng gore thomo thathabolohelwa e be le hore wa batho ba re hijackile di country tsa bona di fa tšhelete hore bona ba hole so re ithutile ne re khopela le re thuseng batho ba a re tsore bjang because ntwe re tshabang ke government ya rena le melao ya rena e re beileng le batho ba bang ba di country tseo.
Okay.
So ke lebo
yeah a re tseng so a re ska repeat ang question ne if question e botsitswe ba belegi a re tsile re botse something else. Number 2.
Dumelang ke nna re neilwe wa ha mokwe ka mosurumane ka mo ke tlhaga go Change Youth Elevation ke NPO ya Gender Based Violence and Youth Empowerment. So ke utlwile Mr. Khoza a bolela and a re bontsha hape changes on the potholes le gore go bapila bjang. I wanted to understand ka pelanyana gore tlhabololo e fitlhella bo mang exactly because rona go surumane a ke gopole the last time ibile se kontiri sa rena a isa le se se tlhokang go tswaliwa pothole ke se kontiri se se tlhokagalang gore se renewiwe pila. So I would really like to understand gore recreation eo e thoma go kae e fella go kae and also to understand gore it's yana go e kanang kang ke khale really ibile a isa le gravulwa ke tselo re irahala mole because oftentimes here host study events re kopana le challenge ya gore people cannot come to us due to taba e ya skontiri seo se senya dikoloi tsa batho le rena re palla go reka dikoloi actually. So yeah na khupela go itse mo ntate Khoza o re lokisetse khang eo ene ke bona o ka re fitile ka pela picture ela ke sa re ke a lebella gore tlhabollo ha teng e bjang pharphar it's gone. So nna ke a khupela batho ntswetswe gore surumane yona le tla e bona na. Thank you.
Number 3. Ke mo pele mo yeah resorted ke o Mike
ere ke simole ke le dumedise ba botlhe ene ke dumedise le ke ta pele ya national ke re ke a leboga ke ne le ntlha tse tharo ka kwano so nna ka lebitso ke nna Kifas Sefane ke Makoti so ke chairperson ka mo Hammanskraal United Committee's Voice mo e bile gore re metse bana medi ka mo Hammanskraal le metse mabapi so gang e ke tlubuang ka yona ke taba ya transport so re ne le matsapa ka mo NTI e sutlile tlhakere bana medi ba rona ba ne le 5 months today ba sa gole so ge di driver di sa gole gora gore le bana medi ga bana go kry transport so ka jalo ne ke tlo gopela national gore a go intervene mo issue ya NTI mo e bile gore ne e service 70% ya transporto ka mo Hammanskraal le metse mabapi so and then gape ke tlo bua gape le ka di ntshwengela ka issue ya prasa gore ga re ne alternative transport so ga re kaegile fela ka mo NTI mo e bile gore lebeletse di bus ga di bese di staying gore ga re ne transport at all and ga re mmerekong and ba le mmerekong ba palla go gotla gae ka lebaka la transport so ka jalo ne ke tlo kopa gore national a go intervene mo issue ya prasa gore ne ba re agele ntwe re ne le sporo city so a batli se train at least e gone go ka service batho ba Hammanskraal go fitla batho ba belabela ka e belo gore ka mo Hammanskraal re tlhakere Hammanskraal divided into 4 provinces. It's service about the province 4. Mo ebile gore ne ke part ya Northwest, ke Gauteng, ke Mpumalanga le part ya Limpopo. So and then ka jalo gape re bua gape le ka transport but ga re ne ditsela. So ke kgopela gore a ko national a ko ne ke bua le MEC ke di bone di a le mabane. So ne re ne le public participation ko Lodiamo. So mo ebile gore ne problem ya ditsela ke problem ka mo tsa masepala. And then masepala ga re engage alona or bolela gore ga ba ne budget ya ditsela tsa bona ka mo. So ne re gopela gore a ko national le province re ma Africa. So a ko ba re lokisetse ditsela tsa rona bo botle. Ho sa kgathatse gore re ba party e feng ya politiki kgotsa re bo mang ba tse salang go gore ma Africa re tlhoka service delivery. Ke a leboga.
Ke a leboga. Kamo isengwa mo 1 2 3 okay tafole na le ba boledi fela na le di boledi fela mo ke 3 le 1 mola 1 2 3 ya lena papa le ka mola ke kopa re bethe 6 ye ka speed ne 2 minutes each ne.
Yeah, thank you very much, Program Director. Ke David Matheka, ke tswa from the small business sector. Ba ba re nyatsang ba re bitsa informal. Ke chairperson within Region 2. Chair, ke utlwa ho bolediwa ka batho pele principle. Dololo ne. Re na le the Department of Small Business Development. Mo re na se fitli. Maybe se ko dimo fela. Kenya go re tsamaile ka pele Program Director. Yeah, and you know re bolela ka Vuk'uzenzele. But Vuk'uzenzele se le bolela ke the previous president. I implement it, to be honest. Re contribute 47% as the small business sector within our economy, but no one assists. And we want to graduate where we are, Remostrate, when it's windy, when it's cold, when it's rainy, re feeling the heat. So with due respect, Minister, Deputy Minister, maybe here lata from Kodim, otlo rutwa pile. You know, hona le contradiction on the ground. The same people, ki bona ba dumeletseng this guys from outside the country to come more country nyarena where the business and le batho pele principle batho ba rena he batho ma ba bolela ba no these guys ba tsela business ke lena le leng godimo ke lena le ba protector le bolela the language engwe sweet le no we are xenophobic so ke strategy and these people hona no ba manufacture dilo ka mo di shopong tsa bona and di bola bana ba rena and ha ona wa yo ba tsosa bana ba tlhokofetse so a re lebelleng pila this thing hele re le bolela ka batho pele principle Deputy Minister a re faceane le reality because hona no re bolela ka batho pele principle mara bana ba rena ba tlhokofala because ba reka go di shopong tsela tse di manufacturang dilo ka mara di shop ebile go robadiwa ka mara di shop so you question yourself for this inspection e kae so ora re our government ya malfunction because hauna inspection and ora it's poor management so ne re nyaka MEC wa economic development hore re le mofatsi we need upliftment. Let me tell you hore the previous government ne re he bona batho ba yona mo tseleng e ba uplift e ba tseya ba graduate but our government since re nna from 1994 hauna movement and our challenge ke di developers Madam Deputy Minister ha di fitla financial muscle ba tshwere tšhelete ha ba fitla ba kra ba ke kolo le ba khala ba ithekisetsa mola ba berekisa financial muscle aba carry di molo di ahiwa mara haona mo di molo tsa rena di allocate and the small business sector within there ba re tsia re tlhokofatsa ke metropolis re lwa lona now and then because are we really lot the right because ba tshwere tshotso ba fa the developers di fa metropolis tshotso and re tshwantse re upgrade the standard ya di bylaws tsa re di bylaws tsa rena sentse re rana ka the previous bylaws Rena mo strateng, Harry Checker, how we research, he will tell you or not these bylaws, ke tsela tsa apartheid regime. So, re tshwantse ro tlhalosetse our position le frustration ya rena as the small business sector. So, program director, with due respect, re kgopela implementation, re need action. Are sa need dibuka tse lo bala, khale re bala from 1994 bala, le ka tsheko re sa bala. So we need action. I thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, ke mo file 2.5 minutes. When I go for 2 minutes, and that the maruku.
Now can less than 1.
Ah.
Because program director ko leboge ke tapilele mo kaofela le badudi, all protocol observed. Jale ka ga o tlhalositse ka lebitso ke Pheha ke semiwa Maroko from Universal Association of School Governing Bodies. Na re bereka ka dikolo. Ha o ka tsaya 0 why times ka 0 it will still be 0. Le re bitsa mo ba motlha le re file metsi mo. Mara mo re dulang gona batho shiba ba rema ke ditlhogo ba re bona di counselor le ba ka re bitsa public meeting they won't even have a drop of water. So sometimes it's very painful re ke tswe mo le bolela ka di results tse di best tsa mo Tshwane re di bereka re sna any other thing because re a tseba gore community mina eng mo rona. Mara le rata Hammanskraal on one thing, it's not a blame game re engage ra bolela. All the ministers are in Hammanskraal. Nka o balela bona o boletse MMC. Kgwedi e kaofela re o le tseba. Mara he re le nyaka ha le gona. Kgwedi e kaofela re tlo le tseba because ke nahana gore budget e tswang e tlha ko national office ba re monna wa o sa ko rural area. The only rural area in South Africa ke Hammanskraal. Ke mo batho ba ka kgona o tšhelete mo teng. Vale re ke tswe mo re na le 35 years o bona batho ba ba leng ka mo ka fela ke di volunteers mo a ono o ka mpontšha pay slip mo ba gola stipend ba botlhe ka batho ba stipend why o se o tle batho ba ba ditulo tse di shweuche ha ba yo mo ba tlo dirang mo ba re a re batle ticket box people ha re tlogeleng go raloka ka batho mara rena ka baka la re ka ra education solution it's one rena re batho ba rena ba tšee light la khale ba tšhume ba rute bana ba bona ke bona ba tla ba agelang dintlo tša mo faseletša go godimo bana ba budget a re bereke le city of Tshwane le tle mo Hammanskraal but it's reality a re ska ra itšhaba re dutse mo diwateng tša rena bo wa 13 for the past 2 terms re ntse re botswa gore there is no budget re dirang then re senya nako bana ba ka le nyaka dijo a ona bothata ne mara ha ona tšhelete ya go reka dijo why ke botsa bana ba ka then so way forward ke gore le emeleng re lebitseng ka moso ska la re bitsa re lebitseng re tlang re le tlhalosetse mathata a rona education ona bana ba rena rest assured re ilo ba ruta and they will perform under very difficult circumstances. Rona in education and the other sectors ha re ilo lwela ntho tsa lona Vale ba frustrated le ba ka no gola pay ya bona ya di councillors mara e ba berekele because o tšhela petrol 24/7 ka tšhelete ya gagwe o no tshwana le a sa go lo iphaletša ke nna ke roba lamboroko ena ke motsoša ka tereke re tsamaya ko ntlo ya mamabalwa go diraga mathata so nna ke no re solution ke gore na ruteng bana ba rena ba tsweleng ko pele let's be proud of having our own children ko re nka re ke bolela ka di worthless places ko dikolong e le re le tsene sekolo se se one bana ba rena ba Hammanskraal ha ba sa apara uniform ela ba reng ke di toughies le nkutlweng leadership re ba rekela di gumboots because ka ra metse mo re nnang gona ba wela ke metse fela and then department e re na re tshwenya ke di budget cuts ke a leboga
Maroku.
Yeah, Tumela Program Director, ke lebitso ke nna moruti Philip William Matladi, from faith-based organizations. So ke leboga Deputy Minister, kutlile di bule di babolela gore we are working with faith-based organization, which I agree. But se se nnang teng everybody ba bereka le faith-based organization ba bereka le bona ho nna monate ge le hore dilo tse di tlhokang ke bona ba di fitlhella ho ta 16 days activism te ba re bitsang batho go boketsang batho ba fetsa ba ba fe dijo go tshaya ba tsamaye ba tse di registera ba o maka present. Now that's what is probleming us kana ko tsentsi but re ke tswe mo yona e we tla o kare ke bolele bale ka moruti hona le mo morao wa molo mola hona le crane mola. That crane in more than almost 10 years mola and it's doing nothing. And that crane kidumela hore is being paid every day. E kara salary every day. It was intended hore ba ire what is it? Call center ya province. But here about 5,000. And one St. Peter's, St. Peter's and the university na ya trainer muzabalazo. Now we teach everything. I'm not sure how ke mang au patelang crane yena e long hore a iriselo. And then ya la we in station se ke sanya ko esia. We are having problem ya transport ya di goods training ke be tswara dilo le batho ba thanko bo Zimbabwe ba busetsa morao. Highway ke shile vandalized. Arwano wane ndender tsama ka yona e mo tsama di bese le ngora di tampa batho a di sa le teng. E bere ke sa ke di lori tse di tshabang go patela toll gate. And now the toll gate tserna le tsona. The further you go ho ya kwa ko carousel kwa ya tura ho tlamo ya tura nyana hanyane ho tlamo ya tura nyana hanyane ho tsena ko toropong ya cheaper. So I'm not sure how to buy the bank. I don't give it to the toropong. It's cheaper way go high. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah. Area go speaker number 4 ne. Aretsenso. Na de maro kutswile ne. Agere o represent the sector. Are boleleng ka di issue tsa sector. Tse pedi pele morao kana wa tlalletsa ka tse pedi tse ileng gore o nyoko bolela ka tsona. Re ska misa opportunity la ngutla ne. Yeah. Number 4.
Dumelang bo botlhe. Wa eme mo ke lesego Tambani. E dula mo Chris Hani. I'm a CPF member under CPF ya Temba Police Station, Sector 1. Ke dumisa batho bo botlhe le di stakeholders all protocol observed. Nna ka he ke lo ba barke mang mo tshwara marapo ke lo ha monyetla ne. So ke tlo fa yona 2 minutes ya ho ke botsisa fela nna ke setse ke kwetse. Re na le probleme mo Hammanskraal ya Pet Road a setse ba ipointile is noted yene. Re na le probleme ya Pet Road ke mishima mo hotle dikole ya di tsamae setse pointile ke a bolela because ke setse ke kwetse. And then engwa hape re struggle hape ka stomota ba setse ba ipointile lona ke no ka he ke kwetse ke di complaints nna ke tleng ka tsona ke nga ka go botla ka tsona la storage na le matsapa ka di storage mo motseng wa rena di thubehile di ela metsi mo tseleng ke di tshila fela bana ba khona tshameka is unhealthy for rena re phele mo plekeng eso because re mama yo sa lokang. And then hape ke lo ba fela hore at least le khona ya jubile unannounced hore ara lwala and then ra jubile rona long hours go casualty. The next thing re na duma 2 days 3 days are create attention ba bang ba rena ba tlhokofalla ba le mo line. So ke nagana hore esli fitile motho mo tla ba di changes ba tla lukisa a re itse re tla bona.
Sure.
So limit a di chila dirty water for consumption. Rena le problem e serious e re itseng hele re bitsa civile tsela re vula mandla ke ngvula manzi Hammanskraal project ya water Hammanskraal re tlile ka makatlana nyana. Rena le problem ya metsi e serious to the point that no as everybody wa leng wa affordang ho ka reka metsi re kra metsi through di lorry re supply ke di lorry di tsana ko hotla and sometimes di tla rema di long hours di long queue ba bang re fetsa ebile di tsamaya metsi a fedile, ba bang re sa kry-a metsi. So re gapeletsa gore rone ona a ditšhila, and then gape ra lwala gape re boela back to metsing a le no tshwane le re nwa metsi a storage. Kopala re le last time Ramtate President Ramaphosa o tlile mo Hammanskraal ko stadium. O re tshepisitse ha tloga a re as soon as ke tloga mollo di tlo change, but unfortunately a seng go ira le ka mokgo. So lisa buile hape ka the same problem hape ya metsi. So ra bona re attention yona e ba teng la tla la ra tender ka issue ya metsi. Re kopala di changes a re tso rena re le fe how long Ramaphosa o re tshepisitse settle 6 months. O itse re ha jika go tla ba right, but still I don't want any changes. The more over worse. Bana ba rena ba hapeletse gore ba ye sekolong ba tshwere mabotlo a metsi. A se ba tswedi ba botlhe ba ileng gore ba fotora ba ka re ka la bana metsi. Like ba bantši a re bereke re le mo re le CPF volunteers ba bantši ke batho fela communities a re bereke a re kgone wa fota metsi. This is the big challenge. E nngwe hape ke di public lights, they are not working. Re thuseng the minute ma bona a sa bereke le bosiu, the high rate of crime ya namella. Ke mo ba reng ma CPF a ba bereke re thuseng bosiu le maphodisa. We are partnership le bona ba hola na re hole, and now we are willing as real desperate for mmereko a ke itse le rena tno re bereka mme re tla go ga maoto ke sa itseng. Re kopela thuso mo e nngwe hape mo Themba as Hammanskraal. Themba is pila special re tlhoka mabitla re fem pleke ba haetso batho ba borona ba tlhokofetseng tshwantse re hapeletse gore tloge mo re ye kanana pleke e tletse re batleleng pleke re le bahi ba Themba ke kholo re tloga mo ra ka dikoloi Themba kanana ba haetso e tshwantse re koloma ka tshwantse re namele re le re kanana ka re koloma ka la batho ba borena Themba le teng ra hile mo Themba ke bolela for batho ba ba leng mo Themba, and then le high rate of ya bofelo ke unemployment ra leka ba haetso ra bala ba bang ba re bo fundekile ra leka mo hotlhe re tsena le mo sa tshwanelang ka lebaka la unemployment. Ba bang ba borena ba re tepa banna ba bang ba borena re tepa dilo tse di snacks di drugs and so on. Ra kopa ka tswetswe le ka mo le khona mo teng na sispane ba itlhalositse di feme ba di tlhalositse le ka nka thata go tsena letso mo batšheng ba rena se ka ba tenela mo le tse di sa lokang. A leboha.
Ku file 3.5 minutes because o no bolela ka metsi ne ke sanya go disturb ne nka ja ke batho ka meno ka mo. Number 5.
Dumelang bagaetso wa buang ke Jokobat Mnisi mo Ramotse Ward 73. Ke utlwile ba buile ka di-pothole ke sa yo bua ka tsona hape ka gore bathong ke mathata ga re kgone go tsamaya he pula e nele. Wa itse dikoloi di tsena ka mara metsi ha e sa le di-pothole ke di-dam hole kore ho ka re o imile ba re o ya sepetlele o belegela mo tseleng. So bjaanong re thuseng bagaetso ka di-pothole tse di leng teng Ramotse Ward 73 ka re ke berekisa transport every day he ke tla mmerekong, but you ho fitlha hae wa utlwa tshwantse o kene Mbata a re sa khona ne ke bua yona eo ke lebogile.
Ra leboha Mnisi wa bofelo. Tshine tla morao lena bo botle ba ke moja morao ke kgosi.
Dumelang bo botle wa bolelang ke Re Shakwana ke tla ke le ka mo Ward 49. Mr. Program Director na ke kopela hore tse dintse le re ska di boeletsa mara ke kopela hore ke no di hatella nyana ke tse pedi fela tsaka ya mathomo ke nyako bolelang ka ena ke ya di program tse tsa rena tsa ANC a ke itse hore le lala le ditse boshibo ntene le tle le tlo re botsa ka tsheko or le tla ka tsona di ntse di le go high ko so rena ka boshuru no re botsa re namelang go ya go boketekete re na le bomme ka mo ba bana le batsadi le kra le bana go gae le bontate ha ba boa mo ba fitla ba sa ja go hae go lefela ke digunga fela. So nna re kopela hore dilo tsa go tshwana le tsona tseo le re beeleng tsona ka nako di ska tla ka tshoko ba raba re ka tshoko ra tsamaya then ka boshigo ntene ile gore batho ba tlhakatlhakana mo a ba itse gore ba etsa mana go mang ke yone ke nyako e hatellang ya di-program tsa rena tsa ANC. Ya bobedi ke ya ka mo Ward 49 ka mo Kanana especially ko West Prop re na le problem ya di-dustbin go na le ditsela tse dingwe a di tsamaiwe and di-trucka di palela ko tsamaya tšatši le trucka e tlileng ka teng ba e file 20 liter ya diesel e palla gore e ka tsamaya di-strata tse ding ka bo 11 di a chaisa di boela ko kampeng. So di-trucka tse di bereka bjang ka 20 liter or di kry 20 ranta le tsona for 20 liter ele ya diesel na, because hona beneng the community ba complaina ka di-dustbin. O ka dumela gore go na le a period of 5 months 5 weeks bjanong di-trucka di sa tle ka mo kanana ka mona di sa tlo tseya matlakala. So a re itse gore problem ya tshwana le yona eo e berekiwa bjang. Ke a leboga.
Thank you. Re feditse mone. Le nkatle le gore la itse gore meeting wa government ba bolela ka ANC la itse kwa government ya ANC ne. Okay. Number 1 ke mama mo. Number 2 ke mama mola. Number 3 ke papa. O fedile.
Dumelang bo botlhe. Ke a leboga sebaka se ke se filong o eme mo ke Julia Matjeni from Ramotse Ward 73. Ke mo di organization tse dintsi ke tla representa community. One ke khopela ho tloba boroko ya rona ko Ward 73. Tsela tsa rena na dintsi pila na re sena problem. Ho bile le project ya metsi le storage ba epa mishima dikolo tsa rena di sa tsamaya. Ho thoma mo thapelo mola ho ya o ka re mabitleng. Ke mathata o tsaya awara fela ho tsamaya mola and then kalena re tsamaya 5 minutes. Number 2 le ka mohare ha ditsela tsela metsi a tlhanko tankeng kwa ko N1 a fitla a ema mola bana ba rena ba bannyane ba bo 10 years he pula enele bana ba le ba ema mola o kra metsi a ba fitla mo dinokeng hore ba re direct hore feta kamo and ho tlusa botlhoko hore bana ba rena ba re direct mola ba nyaka di 5 rand. Why? Because batswadi ba bona ba bereki ba irala batswadi ba bona letseno. So ke khopela minister ga nako ngwe feta ka Ward 73. Number 3 bathong re patela metšhelo re ira eng gone eno ho tsamaya ke khopela feta ko Timber Traffic Department ha o tsena fela o patela motšhelo o renew license a go tsene dikoloi tsa rena di a senye mara re patela motšhelo. Why? Hammanskraal re patela motšhelo o lekana le batho ba ko toropong mo ileng hore di tsela tsa bana di smooth. He kolo ya ha e senyile hape re kopane le mametro di bela tsa rena di lla ho ya ka mishime re tsamayang ka yona. So ke khopela hore attendang ntweo ya bofelo e leng hore ke tlhoba boroko for batho ba Hammanskraal bo botle. Tsela e ya R101 e mo Prestige hona le new development ka mo Garona. Re khopela aida roboto o re eng he re tsena re isa bana dikolong ka mo Prestige re thulana le dikoloi tse di tlhang toropong dia driver. So ke khopela le considering ntwa roboto mo Prestige College mo he le tsama le tlo e bona ho tswa mo Prestige o ho tsena ke mathata le hona re lositse maphelo a mantši mo. So ke a leboga.
Ke a leboga. Re feditse ke se se ka teenage. Oh, two. Oh, sorry. Hey.
Hi, sorry, Chair. Dumelang bagolo. Lebitso la ka ke Kgomotso Ramasodi ke tlhakile ko Ward 8 under CPF and a community leader. Chair, ke na le question tse 3 ne. Ya mathomo e le gore billions of rands were injected into the Rooiwal water treatment plant. But up until today, that plant is useless for na le batho ba Hammanskraal. What are you doing at the department? Secondly, it is the problem, it is the solution, ne? After the Rooiwal water treatment plant, which is in form of those trucks that deliver metsi mo community, but they are equally useless to us because now barekisa metsi mo community instead of saving the community. What are you also doing about that? Number 3, I feel this 9 out of 12 wards, the ones on the northern sides, are the most neglected in terms of service delivery. I'm saying this because as a resident of Ward 8, now I don't remember the last time the credit services for Ward 8. That service delivery presentation which has put before us, now for now, I'm empirically because the parks were cleaned, but the park again now which is the Polar Park, but it's not actually a park, it's a dumping site. There's nothing to show that is actually a park. We've got thousands of dumping sites to go holding. Yet we do have that truck collector refuse on a weekly basis. My challenge is that we've got service delivery, service
providers being paid for doing nothing. Solely running as a department. Ke a leboga.
Thanks, Mayor Ramasodi. Wabofelo.
Ke a leboha, Program Director. Lebitso la ka ke Stanley Molaudzi, ke Deputy Chair ya Multi-Sectoral Forum and also ke Chairperson ya Disability Sector ka mo Region 2. Se ke yang o se raisa mo ke is in connection with the disabled persons. Since really mo kgweding ya the disabled, ke nahana hore even if ke ikwetse already, but I have got to share with you because it's very, very painful. And then my experience in Pulelori, no, even if ke kare no ke ikwetse ke tafa lena, a ke hopole in my experience ke kry a call or anything since ke le mo leadership. Ya hore re bona o kwetse ntho e, re bona ntho e o kwetseng. So let me just share with you. In 2009, we made an application for a center ya disability. Mo ne re re ta kgono o skilla the disabled in that center and some of other issues. We had a very clear vision. But we waited until in 2016, where we received a call from an official to say, now there is a council resolution. A-ring, you are being offered that piece of land. And I went to town, that was the time I was put like it. 2016, we signed for it, and we became very patient and said, no, things are starting to move. But now we made a follow-up with the officials through emails, through telephone, ria oral sal, ria ko tropong, every street wherever they were moving from one office to another, we have been there. And now, until Huthaila COVID, it went quiet, and then our patient let COVID subside, and then it continue. Now we have continued. And how it continue, now the officials no longer want to entertain our story. In fact, look at the emails, they no longer want to answer the emails. Now you understand the frustration in Alione Koswanki Maspala. And our vision, you can see we are aging. That's why I've been in the leadership for too long now. And I'm aging. And that vision is being dented. And now, you know how painful is it? We wanna, or we by this time, but when today Rita really leave no one behind, and we have left these disabled persons behind for a long time, it's so many years that this thing is not being realized. That vision is not being realized. So, or maybe the official, because Lina, I fear now for my life, especially when officials respond. There's a possibility that Lina, my life can be in danger. Because I can impatient and they say libona. More the phone over drop the phone and when I know they no longer answer anything. So I don't know what he is saying to it, but the deputy minister is here, is listening. Maybe I can do so. Because the municipality Tshwane is not helping at all. So this is a serious concern. And I give a told to go to the grave concern. He resolved the way program director now that I'm still alive. Thank you very much.
Yeah. Ke tla bona ntate Molaudzi ne. Ke tla bona ke tla o thusa. Ya o ska tshwenya deputy minister ke ra se authority ya land. Land ke masipala ke tla o thusa. Ko ba le fenda de teenage. Mara o bolele 2 minutes teenage wa ka 3 minutes ke o cut. Ke o Mike ke o.
We know teenage is a discipline of cadre, is not mentally disposed.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you.
La mohakatsa yaanong.
People
La
are
mohakatsa.
recognize me. You are not recognize me. People are recognize me just because you are pretending. So you must recognize as a revolutionarist, Majamo. Please, Commander-in-Chief, to respect Deputy Minister Kotri Muguni, the son of the soil, the MEC. Mo ke keme mo ke nna comrade teenage wa Majamo. He re bolela ka Majamo re nwa metsi bo botle le nkgapela ka 4 ro ja bo botle. Ne ke bolela hore last ne re tshwere meeting wa hot committee members mo region ya rona, but application e bolela hore all the region ba tlo tshwara di hot committee meeting. So frustration e re na le yona it will resolve as soon as possible. As soon as possible, good people. Re tlo ba le batho ba department ya ntwele ba re keng ya di ward committee members. Stress re na le sona, good people. As soon as possible, we are going to resolve forever and forever. So re saletse ke 90 days. 90 days ya rona gore ke next year 2024. Mo e leng gore di ward committee cross the borders Tshwane se wo di tlo formiwa. And re tlo bua le ntho engwe ka sekgwa ba e bitsa ba re ke mogabolo. Mogabolo ko gore ba tlo re traina gore o le member wa ward committee o ti tshwarelwana. O ska ti tshwara magwagwa wa ba le di corruption wa ba le lo mama. Ro ba le good memory communication le local government le Gauteng le national or each and everyone ka sector ya high unless satisfied. Just because re bereka mo nakong ya di changes ko re bolela ka radical economy transformation.
Ya felletsa ya bofelo
ko bofelo ke ra hore re a leboa leadership le re fitlhisitse taba tsa rona ko di tshwanetseng ko teng di sketsa tsena ka mara di retse re pula e ireng e ne le matebele. Thank you very much.
Thank you. All right. Aretten so. Shh. Yeah. Our 12th language assistants ba gopela o tsamaya ne. Ko para ba bethele matso le bona ba re sefile pila ne. Ba gopetse gore bana le ko engagement engwe ka 4:30 ba gopela o tsamaya. Then ra ba lokolla. Before go tla deputy minister ke tlilo fa makhanselara a rona le RH go responda ke tlo ba specific gore ba arabeng ne then o re khona o tsamaya langutla ke ke batla ntate Adamu o ro mongwe wa makhanselara a tlhalose progress ya ditsela tsa rena tsa go majaneng le ditsela tse tsotlhe tse leng gore Gauteng government e promise to re tlo di lokisa go tla mang wa tla e tla councilor Adam e tla mo ya ke councilor Adam o tla re tla letsa ne ke tla le botsa gore le tlo bolelang le tlo share.
Thank you very much. Regelewe, Program Director, Ntate Aaron Maluleke, the Chief Whip, caucus na ANC ko councileng. Rego lewe. Agenya go senya nako. Ka issue ya ditsela le motule le makoti a re nana le MEC. Re na le program e re leng busy ka yona le MEC. Already on a le contract e leng gore iteng mo fatshe, especially for issue ya go majaneng Suruman e sumulang go Q4. I'm sure le khona e bona ra o sana tsela. It's a provincial road mo e leng gore ba in the final stages tse leng gore ba tlo e thoma go fatshe ba ire tsela e leng gore e tlo khona go tsamaya. Most of the tsela tsa rena tsa province ke nana re le khona go bona mo di strateng mo ke bo yellow fela o iwa o di mo lefatshe wa berekiwa. Ke bolela ka ditsela tsa province. Ditsela tsa province ke bolela ka R101, ke bolela ka Heri Kwala, ke bolela ka yona Suruman Road le ke bolelang ka yona ya Majaneng, ke bolela ka Makapan Road, ke utlwile le mme a bolela ka issue e pothole e kgolokgolo e leng mo pela traffic department a o feta setse already e registerile gore bo e lokisa. Ke bolela ka ditsela tse, a ke bolele ka di-internal road. Di-internal road ke tsa masepala, ke tsa rona le bo RED, then le bo speakera na tshwanetse a bile teng mo. Ke tsona tse e leng gore ke tlhoba boroko. In this financial year, a ke re a re nyako le botsamaka, we don't have any budget ya ditsela. Ke nana ditsela le felleditse ka go bona ditsela ka mo Mandela, o iriwa strata se sengwe le se sengwe ba se fa a tar road. So re nyako bona Hammanskraal yo otlhe tshwana le Mandela village go na le ditsela mo otlhe. But the problem ke gore in this financial year bana beso a rena budget ya ditsela, especially in region 2. A re nyako le botsamaka, ke nagana re banne ba le teng ga re lo consulta mo gae mo le kgonne go bona re Hammanskraal a rena budget totally. So re emetse next financial year, maybe ka lucky di-internal road re tlo kgona go ba le budget ya go di lokisa. The issue ya dilori tsa metsi, o na le mme o na bolela ko ba re dilori tsa metsi di rekisha metsi, setšhaba se palelwa ko kry-a metsi. Ene ke nnete ntho eo, ke nnete ya iragala. But ha nne ke utlweletse ka mo, ke utlweletse le bolela bontši ba lona le tswa mo section ya CPF, Community Policing Forum. Ke nagana gore le tshwanetse le re thušeng baetso, especially lena Community Policing Forum. Ha gona traka e tshwanetseng e rekiše metsi, setšhaba se sena metsi. Makhanselara le ba bona ba le ko ba ka se kgone di monitora dilori tse, ke dilori tsa lena. Please ke a le kgopela nna as the whipper of councillors tsa Hammanskraal ke re lori e nngwe le e nngwe eo e bonang e rekisa metsi e tseye photo le re romele le di-number plate tsa yona so that we can deal le lori e rekisang metsi. Ra le kgopela ha ke re he o e bone lori eo o tlo botsa nna ke le one or o botse councillara wa ward eo, ha o bolele batho ba bangwe. A ke re ke nyako le fa motlhala ka ko ward 49 ko kanana ko ke nnang mo di tshela metsi. Every day di fitla di tshwanetse di yo tloka ko officing yaka. I must know lori e bereka which section. Lori engwe le engwe na le section e berekang go yona. If section e wa ina metsi, go ra re lori e berekang on that section e rekisa metsi. So ke nana re di councilora tse dingwe ba tlo latela motlhala o mo botse o go ira gore lori engwe le engwe ba e fe section. If metsi a teng mo ke teenager a tshela metsi mo, teenager tshwanetse a be accountable. A re botsa gore lori yae e tshela metsi ko kae because setšhaba ko a tshela metsi a sena metsi. Ra utlwana kere mara ka perekišano le lena ke nagana re a le ata ka mo a ra kgetha makhanselara gore re fetsa re ne re nyako bona re ba palelwa ke mmereko gore ba kgona mmereko. We must work with the councillors, re report re bona bothata ba mokutong. Ra utlwana kere baitse ke a le kgopela in terms of di-traka tsa metsi ke tsa rona makhanselara le lona. Ke kgopela gore le di monitore dilori tseo he le bona ira phoso immediately ka nako yona eo reportang lori e re kgone e lokisa ore le kgone go kry-a metsi. Ka gore yalo a ke na mantši a ke itse gore makhanselara ba na le se ba ka se bolelang ka mona.
Ke tla lefa le ska wara question tse ke tse dintši thata le ka wa lowa a re utlwaneng bagolo. A ke re meeting o a swa community kwa di-stakeholders go ra re ke leadership e leng kamo. Now leadership e na le responsibility. Leadership e ba re go na le traka tse 10 ko wateng ya lena, ke lena le tshwanetse le thuse makhanselara gore di tsamaye pila di etse service. Ge e le gore utlelang leadership, ge e le gore go na le batho ba rekisang metsi go ra rona le ba ba rekang la itse kere no ngutleleng rena re le leadership ya that community Bramdev re tshwanna go tseya traka re kwa ditse lebitso la gore e tlhokomela ke mang. e tshelle batho ba rena pele ba ba sokolang e ka nna tshella ba bang ba morago he feditse o tshela metsi mara di-truck a se priority for rena a se solution ne it's a temporary measure solution e gore go nne le metsi ko dijarateng batho ba kry metsi deputy minister o tla araba kere gore when somebody botsisitse mo re le tlile le presidente mo ke ausi lesego le tlile le presidente a re tshepisa gore 6 months metsi tla ba le teng go iragalang ona nong deputy minister o tla araba ra utlwana kere a re tshwarisaneng this thing joko e nne bobebe man ra utlwana because batho ba rekisa metsi la ba itse le lona re tshwanetse re ba folose mo ditrakeng then councillors okay e rekitse RH a o re fe a ke ra itse nna strike for 4 months 4 months ne ya ke batla RH a re botse catch up program ya bona gore ko ne re sa tse matlakala ko teng re wa tseya neng ko re sa kgatang mabjae di-programe tsa rena re tlo di kry-a neng tse di tlo re thusang
Thank you, Alderman Maluleka. Okay, Bakayetu, I think the first thing. Okay, thank you. I think taba ya ditsela e bulwetse and e utlwagetse. Re na le challenge e serious ya ditsela mo hae. But I think botlhe ra tseba gore our main problem e tsang gore ditsela tsa rena di be ko conditioning e leng mo yona ke taba gore a rena storm water and water table ya rena e kodimo so every time ka rainy season a una storm water water table e kodimo ditsela tsa rena di a senyega tšhelete e rena le yona ya maintenance ke nyane too much gore e ka kgona gore e maintain ditsela tse di be ka tsela leng gore le ka e kgotsofalla and I think liboni in all media sources gore masipala una le serious problem ya ditšhelete since last financial year mara ntho nka e commitang now ke gore next week ke a meeta le di-councilora kaofela rona fatshe le bona re ba bontshe tšhelete ba reng fileng yona this financial year and then re bone le bona re prioritize gore ke tsela tse feng gore re tlo di etsa and ke tse feng gore re tlo palla ke gore because tšhelete ya rena ya shorta bagaetso ke nyane haholo Hammanskraal all in all re na le 1200 kilometer of gravel roads and then we also have got about 450 of tarred roads and then budget ya rena ya region kaofela it's only 8 million to do all that work so if ne re ka ba gore maybe re be le tšhelete enough gore re kgone go fisa ditsela tse ka tselang gore le ka ithabela re nida tšhelete e leng gore 8 million e ka ba tšhelete gore e ka ba enough for what A1 fela if le teng le tsang ra maintainer go na le storm water if you got driver around the only area ina le ditsela tse right ke Mandela village why because go na le storm water so le re maintenance wa teng o nna easy and o nna affordable mo rena but tse dingwe like o tsie tsela e yang ko Sirman ko holong tsela ela e fedile re repairile hangata it's on a wetland a gona storm water so every year we just throwing money and then gore maintenance wa teng a o tshware sebaka a pula ina fela maintenance ola wa tloga but then as a way forward I'm saying next week ra meeta le di-councilora re tlo ba bontsha tšhelete ba re fileng yona now and then ba re fe ditsela o mongwe le mongwe tlo re ko wating yaka a shi tsela e ke bolang gore tse di important leng gore tshwantse gore re di etse and then mo tšhelete e felelang ko teng le teng ba tla le informa ko public meeting gore no ko wating ya rena ke e tsela e re tlo focusang mo yona and then ba le fe le progress gore re tlhela kae ka gore re di fixe so that is the answer e nka e fang ko tabeng ya ditsela re aware di bad re aware di tsamaege but the main problem ke taba ya storm water and like Councillor Mashaba a boletse a gona budget e re filweng yona for rehabilitation of roads for storm water so ke challenge leng gore now ditsela in ko conditioning o leng mo yona sonse re try ka tšhelete e nyane e re nang leng yona gore re di maintain but like I'm saying re ka se kgone di maintaina kaofela eo ke nnete so re tlo try gore re maintain di-arterial tse tsamayang di-base tse tsamayang di-taxi gore batho ba kgone go fitlhela mmerekong bana ba ye dikolong ke a leboga Councillor Okay. And then khuna le ba raising the question tsa SUA. Ke gopela gore meeting a utswa re kopane le bona ka mo council chamber ka mo. And then re tlo attend ditaba tsa SUA. If khuna le problem ya SUA, re gopela gore di reportiwe ntho tse. And then a o sno I reporta and then re sa attend. E butse councilora. Ba na le tsela e re communicatang le bona ka yona ra gopela. Ba gopela bohle ba na le di problem tsa SUA. A meeting o utswa a re keneng ka mo council chamber and then let's get all the details and the physical addresses re tlo di attend those SUA challenges. Le mme o boletsi ka taba ya phaka. Gopela gore meeting a utswa o kene ka mo council chamber ke utlwe gore what is the problem ka phaka o I mentionileng. Ke a leboga.
Then okay, ke fa ntate Notwane go bolela ka issue nngwe ya metsi ne ke ena leader ya rena metsi executive ya rena group head ya metsi go Tshwane ntate Notwane.
Thank you very much, Program Director, DM, councillors, community, all protocol observed. Ka issue ya metsi, mine is to give a progress report. Reboni Minister, le Executive Mayor, when ba etsa pronouncement, ya hore the National Department le City of Tshwane, ba form a collaboration, a partnership. They are going to attend to the water issue together. By really pronouncement hape ya gore the project it was like a DBSA moving forward. So those commitments I get to make the commitment for a project with like a DBSA. I can confirm for the city of Tshwane appointile DBSA gonna implementing agent for project ya Royal. So that commitment has been honored. So DBSA implementation agent, what it means ke gore ro fa project ashi o tlo rana ka dilo tse tsotlhe consulting contract OHS ke e ko matsogong a DBSA ba yo rana ka project so DBSA ba submitile program ba appointa what they call a 10 key contractor information e ne le teng ya go thoma pele ka go felletsa. So ba appointa motho mo one motho a ye ko Royal a yo felletsa mmereko o setseng. According to program ya bona the 10 key contractor should be on the ground at the end of around February 2024. Maspala Babereka National Treasury also is a partner. So this thing ke partnership ke Maspala National Treasury, COGTA, National Department of Water and Sanitation, le DBSA. Babereka ba both. By establishing a joint steering committee. That committee is already meeting the Labone Thursdays on a fortnightly basis. Meroko wa joint steering committee ke ho monitor progress ya the project. So a joint steering committee has been established and a monitor project. In terms of budget, Maspala had to sit the National Treasury, the National Department of Water and Sanitation, ba reprioritize a budget for make sure first for complete a Rui Valley, the money is available. So 450 million has been made available over the MTREF by dividing 150 million per financial year. First, who fill it up the project. Meanwhile, Minister, one national department, so what they did, ba boledisane le Magalisota to say, Magalisota, you've got a plant in next to Temba Hammanskraal. Ahang a package plant as an interim solution. Le kone ho fa community Hammanskraal metsi ama clean. Minister, National Department, ba committee le budget ya 700 million. Batlo builder a 40 to 50 megaliter package plant by builder kadi module. The first module kadi timeline is abona bari should be completed around June next year. Ke completion at the first module. Then the city on its own also ba partnerile le Water Research Commission ho lebella alternative technologies re ka etsa eng go solve one the issue ya go river but also to explore other water supply alternatives more Hammanskraal. Rui Valley need expansion, 130 megaliters per day. Masipala is working with DBSA, the National Treasury, who ensure that chelete EU is made available. DWS lona iteng estimation ya that project ke 4 billion. But what is important ke hore Magalisota etlebe etlaka interim solution ya ho tlisa metsi a clean mo Hammanskraal. Ke a leboga.
Ya Rafetsa ke a utlwa la nguna no Rafetsa ne ya then go setse deputy minister councillor kopa etla tlhalose what committee ka speed nyana process re tlela kae what committees fela ne ha re fetsa bolela deputy minister re feditse.
Dumelang kaofela. Afternoon, Deputy Minister. The ward committees ke badudi wa re lekang hore ba thuse the ward councillor hore ba ire mmereko wa bona simple. So the city ne le mo process ya hore ho establish the ward committees hore councillor a kgone hore a ho nne le batho ba thusana le bona on the ground. Pele nka tswela pele ka he o se tso tlhalositswe no hona le di meetings tse leng gore no tsamaiwa region to region ba tra go tlhalosetsa community members gore o ka ba ward committee byang what are the requirements and ke ntse santsong go be o dietse ho ka lebella ka mohare ha di ward committees hona le di portfolio tse di banteng like o kere hona le ward committee member on education o lengoro a ka assista ka di problem tsa dikolo o lengoro tla ba berekisana le the SGBs hona le ward committee member on safety ba lengoro berekisana le maphodisa o berekisana le the CPF but the requirements tsa hore o be ward committee member one o tshwantse o be member of the city and then o appear on the voters roll ya that particular ward. Two, criminal record if you naliona it must be 12 months. If you are convicted, you are convicted for 12 months, not or 12 months. And then one of the requirements is the city of Tshwane, the city of Tshwane either in a contract or permanently. So regarding communities or part of the ward committees because for example, the ward council is in council. Honali problems selong di batla hala ka mahara ha community selong hore what community member a kana a kgona ho deala ka tsona. Hello, hona le problems, what committees ba meet speaker, ba meet the mayor to explain hore ho etsahalang ka mara di what, but ka se kgone ho tlhalosa thata ke ya hore ho patelwa mang ko kae ka baka la hore is still a process. Ke a leboha program director.
Ra leboha re fa Deputy Minister to wrap up on all comments and the intervention and the observation ko Jubilee. When that was health, that Terence. Come on, sorry. Come, about health. Yeah, come. Sorry. It skipped my mind. Sorry, Deputy Minister. That was health, our mama ka health. Agir. Rekopane le batho mo la ba lla hore queue ke telle o tsena ka mo sepetlele. Then re tswa go teng ba le ka o tlhalosa ba health hore ke eng se tshwantse se diragale mola in terms of expansion. Ko somebody butsisitse mo sepetlele sela se batla hore se agiwe bompšha kere sa Jubilee.
Thank you very much for the time that you've given me, Program Director. I'm going to be very brief. My name is Terence Magoro. I come from the Department of Health in Gauteng. I'm responsible for operations. Putso ya mathomo re ikreile from Tate Mampiswane. He asked about availability of condoms. Coincidentally, ne a dutse gaufi le nna. So the condoms di ona jwale. Arena, oh, hasali on. Okay, but anyway, we're just answering because Lilu na linya ko tseba re ira lang ka di condoms ne. Di condoms di ona ka nako ya hona jwale. Auna problem li shortage ne. The condoms are available, redesigned in the last few months, and they should be available throughout all our facilities, including the NPOs tsa rona. Akere. So ha lisina tsona ke share nomoro ya ka le Ntate Mampiswane am phonele directly, we'll sort it out. Ne re na le tsona, ne re na le problem, re na le bothata di condoms hale, but ona jwale that problem is not there anymore. But ke nyaka o acknowledge hore ena ya di pregnancy kits hona luba le shortage, but ona jwale re kreile solution ya hore tshwantse re ire jwang. And ke checkile le staff sa rona, especially here in region 2, we've given them an instruction ya hore ba tswele pele ba ire procurement di pregnancy kits tseo di be hona ka tsela e nyakehang. Pastor Mukwena o butsisitse ka taba ya drugs and rehabilitation centers ne a ke tsebe pastor o sa le bona na. But province ya rona together with the Department of Health and Social Development re na le program ya o deala le issue ena ya di drug rehabilitation. So bana ba rona, those that are addicted to substances tsa o tshwana le bo nyaupe, re na le nomoro e le ka ifonelang ho yona or ngwana o a kgono allocatelwa that center. So if lina le ntho ya ukwala, I can read the number quickly. Le ikwale hat 0800 228827. So ha le ka founela phone eo, nomoro eo ki mahala, a inyaki le tjhelete, you can be able to get the person placed. I'm going to repeat the number slowly. 0800 228827. Right? Le ka founela yona. Ba kgonang ho rumela email, una le an email address that you can use. I will just leave the details so that by kwale ko fatshe, or you can contact me after the meeting. But we also have got tsela engwe ya technology la ya khale ya o berekisa USSD. Leona, you can use mobile phone ya hao and follow the instructions. Ngwana o tla kgona allocate to a center or a kgona create treatment. The next question is really from Ntate, I think Ntate Donald Moeng. Ne abutsisa ka Jubilee Hospital or Jubilee Kenyan. But before it hu Jubilee, let me mention more region 2 ya rona. Rena le di clinic tse fitlang 12 ne. Nka se di bale kaofela, but fela ke nyaka o bulela hore ke kana gardens mo re leng ko teng. It's a new facility. Hona jwale e thomile le ho shuma, le kaya le kgona ho bona hore ke infrastructure e jwang. Very beautiful facility. Re kopa hore jaka batho ba nnang mo Hammanskraal a re itlhokomeleng facility eo ke ya rona, le hona e tla thusa haholo hore e kgone ho relieve pressure ko Jubilee. Ising fela taba yona e, we are now already starting with a process ya o check hore re ka gona o extender, operating hours ka gore le a tseba e bereka fela for about 8 hours o re kgone o thusa hore batho ba yang ko Jubilee ba ska sutleha thata. Re na le Kekana start kwa le ko tlase ko Kekana le yona e butse. It's a brand new clinic a re itlhokomeleng ke clinic ya rona. Mandi sa Shicheka le yona it's our new facility le yona e thomile o shuma. Ke kopa batho ba Hammanskraal a re tlhokomeleng meago ena e metjha ya rona. And ha re ya tlase kwa le ko Soshanguve re na le boikhutsong batho ba ko Tshwane ba thomile o re connectela metsi hona mo le yona e tlo bula iseng khale. Ya mafelello, let's deal with the issues tsa ko Jubilee. Re na le bothata ko Jubilee batho ba isho casualty ya rona e phela e tletse. But fela ko Jubilee le a tseba hore re na le an ABT structure, alternative building technology e re berekisitseng during nako ya COVID, ne? So e gona ho rifa space sa hore we can activate quite a number of beds within the facility. So hona jwale ha re santse re na le meeting le MEDM le some of your councillors and other officials, we have agreed hore kwa le ko Jubilee re tshwantse re tsie di ward tse dingwe tse sa shuming di activate hore gone ho fokotsa the pressure that is there ko casualty ke ntho ya mathomo. Taba ya bobedi ke ya hore sepetlele sa rona sa Jubilee a se shumi fela se le sepetlele se si one mo Gauteng. Re na le nearby facilities ko tlase ko George Mukari, re na le OD as well. So re kopa hore batho ba rona through luna as baetapele le dumele batho if we are transferring them to other facilities hore ba kgone ho thusiwa hantle re reduce pressure ya congestion ko Jubilee re ka thaba thata ka hore we are getting reports tsa hore batho ba bangwe when we move them to other hospitals ba hana ba re ke go gole, ne? So a re dumeleng hore re kgone ho thusala hantle. Ntho ya boraro ke ya hore pleke ya rona ya region 2 mona Hammanskraal ke e khulu thata e nyaka sepetlele se sengwe ka hore ha re lebeletse Jubilee it's a small district hospital and si refera ko George Mukari ke central teaching hospital. So arena sepetlele sa ka mo hare sa Tshwana le regional, which is a balance between district le tertiary. So we need to work harder and le ona hona di plans tsa hore re kgone ba le health infrastructure e tla kgona o thusetsa or re be le a regional hospital in the area. But before we even get to that, a re shumiseng hantle di primary health care centers tsa rona le hona ka o ba re rile hore ho be le meago e metjha di facility tsena re nana hore di tla thusa o fokotsa pressure le rona re oketsa di operating hours in those 3 facilities tse ke buletseng ka tsona. So ke a leboha Chairperson, I hope I have addressed all the health questions. Many thanks.
Thank you. Yeah. Kana ke mabutse ka crane ya mo morawa o ke moruti. Yeah, ke BPO park Gauteng government di dumetse go felletsa that project. Then the previous contractor was paid money ya mmereko wa editseng. The contractor offside. Mara the site is protected. Gore ba tle ba tswelletse ba felletsa that project. Gauteng government, ne? Land ya di creche, social development and NGOs. Ke go masipala, what we need to do go nna le conversation ne ke botsa councillor Adam that mla uzirta thusa. Because go na le ntho ngore ibitsa o tshwantse o nne le di building plans a se wena no apply tse no krile donation of land kana go ntate ya Ramkgopo re tla le ka o thusa ntate Mailwane na bolela ka application ya batho ba di NGOs gore aba credit donations because the site tse ba nna mo tsona di a proclaimiwa aba na di title deeds. Then re tla bolela le ma councillor a rona hore batho ba bo botle ba di NGO ba kopane le bona re kretse le ba thusa re utlwana kere a one re tloetseng. Deputy Minister ke na kwa lena.
Thank you very much, Program Director. I want to thank you for all the participation and inputs that you've actually made, concerns that have been expressed. Although we didn't actually manage to get a lot of solutions also coming, in a form of suggestions from you, which is what we need to begin to do when we meet. Some of the concerns that have been expressed, I do agree with them. I agree that any area that needs to boost its economy needs to facilities, city of Tshwane, so that children have safe spaces, besides the fact that it's good for their health. Date David Mateka, he says we are too soft on migrants, and there's labels about xenophobia when people are supposed to be addressing issues of migrants. It's not true. Government is really concerned about migration. And by the way, migration is a global phenomenon. But in South Africa, we have a challenge. We have a challenge because we have people who have migrated to South Africa, most of them illegally. This is where the problem is. But the issue of migration is a global phenomenon that is accepted, and we are, most of the time, very careful about how we talk about migration, to the extent that it shouldn't be something that is actually used by communities to brew conflict. And earlier when I was actually talking about migration, I was actually making reference to the number of figures of people. We have population explosion in South Africa, if you want to label it that way. There's too many people that the government of South Africa has got to be dealing with, and that is actually exacerbated by illegal migration of undocumented migrants, which the government is consciously and actively working on. And this is why just recently we've just launched the Border Management Agency, because we've got porous borders that ourselves as government need to know what to do with. It might not be the answer, but there is this Border Management Agency that has been established. And Minister Motsoaledi is very serious about really going deep into issues that actually exacerbate this. Part of it is corruption and bribery within the Department of Home Affairs, where you find that there are officials who actually work with these migrants to help them to come into South Africa, some of them being given official documentation. But we are a government that actually fights corruption. We're serious about the war on corruption, and I'm sure you've seen the state capture. Besides the fact that if you look at what ourselves are doing as public service, we even have a special unit that actually deals with ethics, discipline, and integrity. And this is the unit that has established across government ethics officers, in order for ethics officers to be the ones that actually monitors corruption. So even in the institutions that you see existing today is because of the present government that has actually established those institutions. Some of them used not to exist in the past. And it tells you that in the past there was no war against corruption. And maybe we talk too much about corruption because we're fighting it. Unlike a situation where you find that corruption is taking place and everybody is quiet. And the president has passed so many proclamations to allow the SIU to investigate and really manage to get even some of the money back. We have the asset forfeiture unit that actually gets the money back from those that have actually managed to get monies from South Africa illegally. We have the Protected Disclosure Act that has actually created more protection mechanisms for whistleblowers. When we were talking about trucks, people are saying, hi, Batlor Dubula, hi, we need more whistleblowers. Because things will happen that are wrong within your communities, with you watching. And when you come and report to us, but we don't work together in order for us to fight crime, it actually makes us weak. So whoever is a whistleblower should know that government is actually actively looking at how to protect whistleblowers. But let's not allow things that are wrong to happen in our own communities, watching and doing nothing about it. Our children became the nyaupe addicts with us watching. knowing who is selling drugs within our communities, and really feeling so disabled and doing nothing about it. And I can mention a whole lot more other things that are wrong that are actually taking place in communities. I heard somebody saying we have to some banana or something because we are stranded. It's not supposed to lead to that. It's really not supposed to lead to that, because also morality of the community is what makes us also strong. We can only think straight when we do things that are correct, when we do things that are right. And that is actually a challenge that the people in the faith-based organization also have. What we preach, what we say to our people every Sunday should actually be something that actually builds our people in order for us to become strong. If we are weak, and it's easy to become weak, if we are weak, we can talk about these things. We can be at loggerheads with each other, tell each other often, whatever. But the fact of the matter is there are certain other things that we need to actually also take into consideration to make ourselves weak at individual level, at family level, at community level, in order for us to actually manage to drive our own agenda forward in a way that actually becomes meaningful. And talking about faith-based, I want even our own priests to talk about GBV from the podium in church, because they are also the ones that can actually assist us to say anybody that wants to come through that door, if last night you were actually busy boxing that woman, please don't come in. And they should know that there is a no-nonsense priest in the church that doesn't actually allow gender-based violence. Unlike ourselves turning a blind eye to it, because half the time, a lot of things in life go wrong because we turn a blind eye to it. We look at things that are wrong taking place on a day-to-day basis, and we say nothing about it. And we know society has actually changed. It's not like in the past where the man next door would know how to say to the child next door, stop it, don't do it. We need to go back to that, where everybody's child is your child, and we help to look after each other's children. You hear about the kidnappings that are taking place. We have different types of crimes that have actually developed, but it's because of the person, the people we have become. And that allows the enemy to come in because we are weak. I've noted some of the points that have actually been raised, which I hope Ntate Kgomo you've noted, because normally when we got meetings like this, we make follow-ups with different government departments. Ntate Kgomo being the leader of this, some of them are like, and some of it have got to do with local government, which we are not going to take with us. The ones that have got to do with local government, roads and stormwater, is a serious challenge, and I'm sure everybody agrees. And Tshwane is here represented fully. They've heard you. And indeed, where there are roads that actually easily get damaged because of the fact that there's no stormwater sewage systems, then let's begin with stormwater piping. Okay, and then Babelehi is a sad story. I'm sure we've listened to MEC talking about Babelehi and how we find ourselves in a difficult position as to whose responsibility this is. It must be program director somehow elevated also. And Tate Kgomo, I don't know whether you want yourself to be the one that elevates it, or we should leave it to the city to really challenge it so that, it's pronounced as to whose responsibility this is. Babelehi used to be viable. It used to create jobs, let alone the fact that it was actually also a point of driving the economy of Hammanskraal, because we are serious about driving the economy if we want to develop Hammanskraal. So I'm sure we will decide as to who's going to drive this, so that the next time we come here, I want us to come here with Babelehi in full operation, because a lot of you are here hungry for business, and Babelehi was supposed to actually be one of the drivers of business in Hammanskraal. I heard somebody talking about also the business and grants. I think it was Pastor Daniel Ardina Limatlo. Yes, indeed, you might sometimes think that things dina limatlo, and maybe sometimes dibana limatlo. But also we should be conscious of issues of compliance. Whatever you need from government, try by all means to see to it that you comply. We are a highly regulated government. You ask me, being the executive, how much I get frustrated. They will tell you, those that work in my office. And it's because everything is so highly regulated. You ask them, please do this for me. They tell you about the regulation. Do this for me. They tell you about the regulation. But normally I say to them, if you've got policy and policy hinders work to be done, it means you have bad policy. And it means policy must be amended. But also the activism from amongst yourself should actually also help us to identify those areas where you feel that we've got policy that hinders progress. Because if sometimes we don't hear the voice of the people, we can continue with this policy and thinking that it's good policy, when in actual fact it's bad policy. It's the one that actually makes work not to be done in South Africa, which is not what is our intention. Also, I'm sure the issue of load shedding, earlier I spoke about it, how I actually talked about it in the previous mayor, that is Speaker Ramokgopa, and I do acknowledge that load shedding becomes problematic. It actually exacerbates the crime situation, because if it's too dark, then it creates a good environment for criminals to actually manage to thrive. Unemployment, we have actually highlighted that, and suggestions have been made, including being entrepreneurial. Potholes is something that is connected to the roads and stormwater. Never Romanya bare Elinaba ANC programs, government, councillor. The programs is little later. No, this one is government, Asia African National Congress. So we are not going to manage to entertain that one. The traffic lights, there is a point where they've actually recommended traffic lights. I hope the city has actually noted it, where it's actually said that there's too many deaths around Prestige College. I hope that has been noted by the city so that you can manage to take it to the relevant desk in the municipality. Recognition of CPFs. I'm with you, and I must actually say it's really important that CPFs are really given the necessary muscle for them to actually help us to fight crime. You're not alone. The Premier of Gauteng has actually appointed about 6,000, what do we call them, 6,000 wardens. I was watching him on social media the other day, really having this strong language to the Minister of Police to say you must recognize them. So recognition sometimes becomes contentious, and maybe it's not the fault of the minister, because the minister, like I said, we are a highly regulated government. You might find that the minister might be wishing to do it, but you find that he actually finds it difficult to manage to do it because of the regulations that we actually apply when certain exercises need to happen. But I must say, I heard some other people thinking that Nazi Span is not actually giving them jobs and things, but if you look at the numbers that the Premier of Gauteng has really managed to give work, I think we know that there's absolutely nothing that can be perfect. It's not perfect, but where there is good, we need to know how to even acknowledge good. And for now, my point is to actually really appreciate the effort that the Premier of Gauteng, in particular, has actually put into exercising his mind, coming up with ideas, putting the budget aside to be sure that he creates jobs for South Africans. What we are saying is, if every premier of every province can manage to do what the Premier of Gauteng has done, a lot of South Africans will manage to put food on the table. Because that, for us, this is what is important. To allow South Africans to put food on the table so that your families can thrive. So that when you are a father, you can even have dignity, because now you are a breadwinner. That's what we're looking forward to, and we just wish to see this situation continuing also in other areas. On the issue of skilling disabled, I know there's a project that is stuck. I don't know whether it's stuck at local government or provincial government. City of Tshwane, can you also note that you can talk to Ntate Stanley Mulaudzi. Ntate Stanley Mulaudzi raised it. And he's worried because by 2016 or 14 already, something was promised. And then it almost like came to a halt. And I'm sure these are the little things that we can be in the position to do. The poisonous spaza shop food. What I can advise in the meantime, maybe stop buying from them. So that from ourselves, we actually look at what measures we can put in place to try and stop this that we have identified to be a big problem. If spaza shops are selling your children poisonous food, then it means you shouldn't actually buy poisonous food from those spaza shops, including educating children so that they know why you are not buying from the spaza shop. So that in your absence, when you're going to work, they don't go and buy poisonous food and you still find them having poisoned. But what I know is that the Premier of Gauteng is very serious about really empowering South Africans to take over the spaza shops. And I hope this process will actually be sped up so that we can then have spaza shops of food that South Africans are trusting, seeing that there has been some of these incidents that have actually created this concern. Return of the train, I agree. I should have put it under agree. I agree that the train must be returned, but I'm sure you've seen that some of the lines have been activated. The Atteridgeville line has been activated, Mabopane has been activated, even this one of Hammanskraal, I do believe that soon it will be activated. If I get an opportunity, though the report of Ntate Khomu, I was saying if I get an opportunity of talking to the Minister of Transport, I will find out as to why is it delaying. Because remember, this is a line that doesn't stop in Hammanskraal. It goes to Polokwane, to Luitirgat, to Musina, everywhere. So which means it's going to open up the corridor. And I think it's in our interest also as government to have this corridor opened, because we can't afford to actually run an economy that is actually depending only on trucks. So indeed, I do agree. We must get the train back on track. Enough space for cemeteries. I think this one is for Tshwane. Yes. They are complaining that their cemetery, the timber people are complaining that the cemeteries are full to the extent that they have to go and bury in Kanana, which is alleged to be too far. I think it's something that needs to be investigated so that if there's land available, then it can be made available for an additional cemetery. Though sometimes when we talk about issues of death and cemeteries, we sometimes also even talk about cremation, which a lot of Africans don't actually want to subscribe to. But there are some South Africans that subscribe to cremation, and I'm sure we can, within our own programs, also see to what extent we can promote cremation, because with cremation it actually also saves space. Let alone the fact that we must also try and reuse our old cemetery, our old graves, where you can still bury. If somebody died in 1969 and a family member is late, there's absolutely nothing in burying another family member in the same grave. Program Director, I think this is about all that I have to comment on. I must actually thank everybody for having participated, but to say let's continue to have these engagements, and as we have the engagements, let's continue also to be in the position to put solutions on the table so that we together we can be in the position to develop and allow Hammanskraal to grow. I thank you.
Yeah, Kobo Felong, Ntate Adam, it's a vote of thanks. Na kile wo haore lintumele tsuri kile bully around do ke tsamaise program. Kile wa department do re mpile opportunity hore re berekisana ke a lebo.
Yeah, Erin discuss nyanako, Doctor, Deputy Minister. Rips, Deputy Minister, o flexi. Go to le CEO go jubile alla ga mkhulu. Kere ya. Ereke leboe Deputy Minister RD, Steve Group 8, Councillor Maluleka, our Chief Whip, councillors, NPO, NGOs, erenge leboe mbana besu. Kenana re kwele, re government, re kwele, le lena le kwele. Tele di kweleng ka mo a se tsa lona fela. All of us who are leaders, ke kgopela re tele di kweleng ka mo le di fe ba bangwe go gae ba ba sa di kwa. Ka gore a lo a kenya go senya nako ka gore nako e ile bana beso e reng ke leboeng le ka moso ge le bitswa le teng re kgona go bolela a re tsweleng pele ka kopano because kopano go matla. Ba di bese ba lla ka go ntle ba re nako dijo ke nagana re ba le bietsi tsona le no tse a fela le tla ja mo tsileng because re jelwe ke nako ka gore ya lo bana beso ke re le ka moso.
Ya le sa le ba lo register ka di 18 le di 19 akere tsama lo register mola man le o bona hore mabitso a lla teng o kra ba le tlositse le bitso lao.